Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3S's. I'm your host, Chantele and Francis, here to talk about the last 6 episodes that led up to absolutely bollocks. Is Tamika. How are you doing, Tamika? And are you excited to see how we got here?
I'm excited to see this season end. I'll tell you the truth. The amount of work, the amount of just was no payoff to me for this season.
Absolutely. Like, we weren't super excited when it started. And we're like giving it a chance. Obviously, like, we like Love Island in general. We like seeing these characters enough to be invested in watching them come back on again, even though we wanted to see other people, like, we were willing to invest in them. And then we got like 1 week where it was good,
Yes.
like it had some drama going on.
Yes,
And
that there was one like exact week.
Yeah, 1 week.
1 week.
1 week. And then we started to see a couples seeming to emerge, and then they didn't win. So I'm a little bit disappointed that the season was like 2 weeks on the beginning that sucked, a 1 good week, and then a week and 2 weeks at the end that sucked, and now we're done. Thank you.
Yeah. How was season 1 of Love Island UK? Like, was it like this? I'm just wondering if it's kinks, production, because this was terrible. And I like they did, like we said, there was like 1 week where they were like, okay, this is not going good. Let's fix this. And then they fixed it, and then they screwed it up again. And so I think there was some point where they're just like, what, like, okay, we did the best that we could, like, whatever happens.
I'm not really sure. So season 1 was actually the second time they did it. So I believe the first actual season was in 2015. And if you know who Callum Best is, he was on that season, like obviously almost a decade ago.
Okay.
And then they revamped it and did it in like a few years later. Wait, what year are we now?
We are year 2024, almost 2020.
So no, sorry, there was a season a long time ago. Maybe it was like 2009 or 2005. It was like a long time ago, and I think season 1 was 2015 or 14.
Okay.
Anyways, so I think
so like Temptation Island and those type of shows where there was like one back in the day,
and then
they revamped it and brought it back.
So when this is a revamped version. So season 1 was a revamped version of one that happened a decade before that or so.
Okay.
And it didn't have a lot of the tropes that we have now. Like, I don't even remember if they got text back then. Like, I don't fully remember if that was even part of it. They definitely didn't have Casa Amor. It was a lot different. It was a little bit more of just people living in a house and getting to know each other. And so I think the producers were surprised by how much of a hit it became, and I don't think they understand what makes it actually good. And what makes it actually good was people actually finding relationships. And they're forgetting this because season 2, I think there's at least 2 couples that are still together and have children from season 2.
Yeah.
And I can't remember season 1. Like, I don't remember who everybody's on the cast, but like season 3, there's people that are still together. And so it seems as though as we get closer to nowadays, nobody's together, but the people from the old school editions are still together. So I think it's that the producers are not realizing what the formula actually is, what the secret sauce is, and they're ruining their product, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I will say they could, like, if you're going to make that, because from what I've gotten from press releases, production, whatever, they want this to continue. This is supposed to be a different series. It's not Love Island. It's supposed to be something totally different, and it really wasn't. It, like, even the winners at this point, this is Love Island that we've been watching, and it's not enjoyable. And like you said, like, these people, almost none of them. If none of them stayed together,
I wouldn't be
surprised. I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked. Even the ones I like. If none of them stay together, I would not be shocked. And that to me means this didn't work.
It didn't work, and I definitely agree with you with if they're doing all-stars, there should have been an all-star format. Like, they needed to do something different, not just Love Island, let's try this again. Um, so it could be though, like maybe like season like the new season one,
Mhm.
how they didn't have the tech. I got a text and it didn't have like all these things that we've grown accustomed to. Maybe they're like gonna see like, okay, you know what, for Love Island All Stars, we're gonna need to have some sort of Casa More type thing, but let's make it different. Let's make it even better. Let's have like, I don't know, like maybe they're just using this as like a guinea pig template, and then
Mhm.
they'll see what was working, and then maybe they'll revamp it. But they
Mhm.
haven't seemed to learn from the regular edition to what works. So I don't know if they've figured anything out for All Stars, but
And they
it's
seem
better though. It's better than the winter season though of Love Island regular.
I I mean, in totality, not really. I will say this. That season was obviously longer, but also there was a clear production push of certain couples that or people that they wanted to stay on and with. Clear. And I think that ruined majority of the season. But the reason why I'm okay with the season is I'm okay with the winners and I'm okay with the people who ended up in the final.
Okay,
So I still will call it a win overall because there's still two couples that are together,
right.
right? So it worked. And so that again, if I'm using that gauge of whether this works, because there's couples at the end that are believable, this didn't work. This didn't work.
There was a TikTok that I just watched, and I'm like, oh, did I send you a TikTok today?
No, not today.
Oh no, because like there was, I was, you know, when you're planning on doing something, and I'm like, did I
Mhm.
do it? Did I do it? I
Yeah,
didn't.
I do that all the time. It's like, wait, didn't I send that to you?
Oh, okay, so
Like usually somebody will send to me something and like sure I can send to them. Like didn't I send that reel to you already? No. I was like, oh, I saw it days ago. I meant to send it to you because I knew you would like we would always be on the same wavelength, but I'd be forgetting sometimes.
oh no, I totally. Well, I'll play it here then. Hold on, let me just send it to myself. Uh,
Okay.
it, and it's just something interesting to take note of. Hi Rachel, hello. How are you? How are you? How are you feeling after this
Rachel. Hi, Miss
final? Hi,
T.
Miss T. Okay, let's get into this. I mean, I do want to go back through like, you know, the last few episodes. Just I didn't take that many notes. But I do feel like we need to discuss like some things.
Yeah.
Especially with your favorite person.
Oh, God. Georgia or
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
or Arabella. 'Cause,
No, Georgia.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's do this. And I just thought it was interesting. This
So I almost went on Love Island twice. Yeah, long story. And there's one thing I want people to get. So you know when the white people get the pick of the black people have no choice but to couple up with each other because nobody else wants them, or when like the black girl the last pick and gets left for dead at recoupling. Well, that is 100% deliberate, allegedly. Of course. So to begin with, they make you fill out this application form. I mean, I didn't apply. I was scouted. I want the people who actually applied to know that I'm better than that. When I tell you these producers interrogate the piss out of you about what kind of person you're looking for,
Mhm.
they ask you it so many times to the
Right.
point it's almost annoying. Ask you to describe your type, physical and personality, describe your exes, celebrity crushes. They ask you what previous islanders you would have gone for. They ask you everything. And not only do they ask you on the phone, but also have to do a Zoom interview, and they will literally ask you all over again. And then after that, you have to go to ITV. They'll sit down with like 6 producers back to back to back, and they will all ask you the same questions. So by the end of the process, you'll have answered the question on what kind of person you're looking for no less than 20 times. So I'm sorry, but they know what everyone's type is. It's a completely different day. But as I was saying, they know who everyone is going to pick before the thing even starts. And they also know who no one's going to pick. So anyway, Liquid Blush, don't play with her. So every year when there's no one in there that likes black girls and they're all left fighting for their lives because they can't get a look in, producers have a pretty good idea that's how it's going to go. But they just do it anyways. Allegedly. And do you know what? You low-key can't even be mad. Also, if you're new here, you are chatting with Chisholm. It is literally these producers' job to get people talking about the show. We use the same stale-ass formula every year to do it. And every single year, you all fall for it. I mean, just the other week, everybody was cutting up saying, the starting lineup's mid, the starting lineup's mid. The starting lineup is always mid. Every year. We literally do it on purpose, get you all talking about it before it starts. But you guys just eat it up every single time. And it's the same thing with the black girls. Also, if you've been sleeping on Mario Badescu to see your makeup, you need to wake up. They already know this topic is going to get you all talking on Elon's app. They all know you're going to be in uproar for about a week and are just going to carry on watching the show like normal and giving them all the ratings that they want anyways. So, I mean, why wouldn't they? If it's not broke, don't break it. Also, Maybelline Superstay looks crazy right now, but just look how good it looks. And the gloss just melts it. Period. I haven't watched Love Island in years, but I already know Kaz has been left in the desert without water. I just know. And the producers knew. Allegedly. Also, Primark bronzers, 10 out of 10. You're welcome. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish my hair, but I'll call you tomorrow for some more girl chat.
I love all her allegedly. It's actually allegedly. Covering my ass. I don't blame her. But I've said this. I've said that they do this on purpose, and they think they think it works. But we are seeing it's not working. This year, they started off with the highest ratings they've had in how many years, and then the ratings tanked. And the ratings tanked, and the ratings tanked. The ratings have tanked every week. But that's why I said at some point, I think they were just like, well, like, we don't care. Like, they don't care because they did the job. Like, they got through the series. They did as much as they could, and they don't want to. Did you see this? Oh, sorry, we didn't get to the final yet, but you see how much money they actually put into this?
Was it 50 grand? I was so.
Not even. There was no dates.
Oh.
There was no dates. There was no
dresses.
No dresses. No final pictures. No. They gave them
Nothing. Jessica says here, this explains one reason why these couples aren't lasting. The producers are mainly concerned with physical types. That's not going to sustain a relationship.
Right.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Okay, so let's just go back to Wednesday, Valentine's Day, and let's catch up to this final that we have to talk about. I mean, I took like maybe 1 page of notes of the final. Like I really did. Nothing really happened there.
Nothing happened.
But so Anton is really, and Toby are like hurt, and he said it wasn't his choice to end it. He was talking about Chloe here and about how, like, you know, it seems as though Chloe was the one that instigated the breakup and also did the cheating. So we still don't really have any full information as to how that went down, timeline, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he was hurt by the situation. That's
yeah, and that's what I was saying yesterday. According to him, he still even didn't pull out of anything. He still was trying to give it a go, but I think between the cheating and between her just like not in effect, like it just didn't seem like she wanted to, like, I guess, apologize or make amends for her cheating. He just couldn't continue. Per him, we again, Chloe has not said anything. There's only one time he said something that Chloe said something, guess it, because she does have her own podcast and he does have his own podcast. But otherwise, around this whole entire situation, she has not spoken out.
Yeah. Said nothing.
Nothing.
So Callum and Jess are talking about the gameplay question, and I think that they were fair with the game. And I know that like nobody wants to be told that they're playing a game, especially if they are. But I was just like, it's a game. It is still a game that you're playing, and you have to choose somebody. And the fact that people are getting so upset over it is pretty annoying. Sophie and Josh like are talking about, or wait, sorry, Georgia Harrison is back and forth with Anton. And I'm like, why is Anton like Anton was frustrating me so much. So was Georgia. Georgia's like, we'll get to Georgia soon. But like the fact that Anton was still really upset with Josh for like having an opinion and being like, oh, we want to bring our couple down to bring their couple up. Like that was the narrative that was kept on being drilled in. And I'm like, you guys are not even at the same level. Not even at the same level of coupledom.
Just not.
Whatever. I think she wants to like Anton, but she doesn't. Yeah, that's what I think about Georgia. I think that she really wants to like him. And I think that her desire to like really want to like him because he is a nice person. He has a good heart. She's just not that into him. And she feels bad that she's not into him. But I think she just wants to, because she knows that he's a good guy and he treats her well, that she just wants to pretend like she actually does like him. But she does not like him. And he knows she doesn't like him.
Right.
He doesn't want to admit it.
So I'm going to say this. And I mean, you could be more right than me. I thought that was the case in the beginning. Like she realizes
she likes him.
No. I thought in the beginning that she wanted to like him.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Like wanted because he was such a good guy, and she wanted to like him. But then I just feel like she's been playing the game this entire time.
Well,
like
that's what I think she wants to like him and wish that she wasn't lying about liking him.
Yeah, I don't know about the wish she wasn't lying. I feel like she feels like, dude, just take what I'm giving you so that we can win the show. I felt like that's what she was giving, personally. I feel like there was more ulterior motives in it, and especially at the point where I think he started realizing, no, she doesn't like me. I feel like she was just like, yes, we both know I do not like you like that, but we need to win this show, so just suck it up. Like, I felt like that's what she was giving.
I can see that too, for sure. I can see it. So maybe she wants to pretend like she wants to like him so that the public won't hate her.
Correct. Exactly correct.
I was also really annoyed with Georgia Steele being so angry that Callum has this idea that maybe she is playing a game or whatever, and she wants to get the work on the outside comment out of his head. I'm like, just let it go, Georgia. Like, they can have an opinion. And like, why do you need to explain everything and get it out of his head? Like, why? Like, your words is not going to make that happen
at all. Georgia, again, the game playing, because she's just so intent on controlling this narrative of this storyline. And a lot of people will say, oh, if it wasn't for Georgia, she brought the drama, we needed her to. Sure, there would half the storylines wouldn't have happened because of her. But I think there was a point where she should have just kind of I think you were good, just let things, ride it out. But she was still trying to just force things to be,
so much. It just she wrung me dry of caring about her storylines.
Period. Period. And I, to be fair, I would say they aren't the couple with the least amount of chemistry, Toby and her. So it was like, dude, if you just kind of just kept it, y'all are pretending pretty good. If y'all just kept it going and just not tried to force stuff, I think you could have. She might have moved up a notch, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, the Ekin-Su wind of, she was wrong at some point, but she found the love of her life and he loves her. They could have maybe wind beneath their wings.
She was way more likable than Georgia Steele, in my opinion.
True.
You have to think about that one. I think even Faye was more likable. Faye was more likable than Georgia Steele.
Oh, that's a lot, and still true. I'm trying to forget Ekansu of the Traitors and think Ekansu of
I didn't mind Ekansu on the Traitors.
I didn't mind her. She was pretty good though. When she took the poison, like I can feel it.
Feel the poison. I can feel it. No, it's me. I know
Her
it's me.
acting skills really came up. But yeah, so
Jess is talking to Sophie and says that she doesn't think that Georgia H wants him and feels bad for Anton. Okay, so Jess has stated this out loud to Sophie. We're just gonna just put that in the memory, okay?
Because Jess, Sophie, Molly, they're all friends. They all chat, and I'm pretty sure Sophie's like, yo, I don't know what this is about. Like, part of the conversations we miss. Because like she does not like him. She doesn't like him. And I'm sure Jess was like, no, like I think she likes him. And then there's a point where Jess is like, oh no, yeah, no, she don't like him.
The thing is that we've all seen what Georgia looks like when she likes someone. And she's not she's had many relationships on camera or in their grouping situation, like, and she, like, even on the channel, like all these shows, she's had some sort of interactions with men, and she doesn't act like this. So like just that alone would show me that she's not interested in him that way, because she's not pursuing him at all. She likes, not pursuing necessarily, but like she likes having that flirty sexual banter. Like she's a lot more sexual usually with and like willing to be crazy and weird and wild and sexual, and that's usually her thing. And she's not any of that with Anton. I know that she's come from a place where she's experienced something really traumatic in the real world, so that could be changing her demeanor and how she's interacting. Not taking that out of consideration, but just for how she knows, I've known her to interact with men in general. She's not into that man.
Right. And I mean, as we continue, she does, I think I alluded to this yesterday, she does allude to the fact that her experience outside the villa has made her different, which is potentially possible. I still though have seen her personally. I've not seen her prior to this in the show pursue people differently. Her and Josh had a lot of sexual conversations, not as sexual as him and Arabella, but still
at the beginning.
And they kissed. I didn't see any of that with her and Anton. None of that with her and Anton. Not even that little bit. So yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being here. I'm doing amazing. Are you doing amazing? Josh and Georgia Harrison have a conversation, and she feels like he is mugging off Anton because he's like, would you like me to lie to you? And he said he had no other options. Like, it was a game. He had no other options. He had to explain why he was choosing somebody for something. And all of a sudden it's like an attack on their friendship and her man, and she's mugging him off. And it's like, well, I had to choose somebody. Who should have I chosen for these things instead?
It was an opinion based off an opinion had to be made. Who should I have chosen instead of you guys when this is what I'm seeing? So
and it's also what ended up being the audience saw.
And obviously the audience is seeing it because they agreed with me. So what, like I could understand being upset during, but to continue, what pissed me off is she continued afterwards, knowing that the audience agreed with him. This was an audience poll. It wasn't like the couple days prior when it was their poll. It was an audience poll, and the audience agreed with him. The audience agreed with him on Toby and Georgia. And what did Toby and Georgia came off of the thing and did? They ate it. They're like, well, we had to back ourselves, so we weren't taking that. But, the audience just going to see. And that's it. Did they go on and on? You guys put
surprisingly, Georgia didn't go on and on and on. She passed the other Georgia, the going on and on and on, but
yeah.
But then she starts crying and saying that she's not a game player, and I'm like, oh, the fact that you're crying and saying that you're not a game player, do you know what that says to me? You're playing a game. Because people that aren't playing games don't need to tell you that they're not playing a game. Because they're not. Oh, she's so.
I keep telling people, like, some things I will sit there and not defend because I'm like, why? Like, it's not true. So why am I defending it? And then, there's some things that are like extreme. Like, I'm just like, what the frick are you on? But it's like something so insignificant as we're game players. I'd be like, no, we're not, but whatever.
Exactly. I wouldn't be crying and being like, I'm not a game player. Stop thinking of me as a game player. Like, those tears are game playing tears for sure. Callum and Jess do have a conversation, and they do talk about Anton is doing more than Georgia is, which he is. Like, he's trying. And I guess because Anton doesn't really have that much experience in relationships, I guess, like, he would realize that it's not working because she's not interested in you. Like, it would be a lot easier. She would be reciprocating things. You wouldn't feel like it was unbalanced. You wouldn't feel like she's hot and cold. Like, she's hot and cold because some days she has the ick and some days she can tolerate you. Like, it's true.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. Once you have the ick, like, it might go in waves, but like, it always comes back. So Georgia is crying to Anton and tells him that everyone is making her feel like she's fake. And then she's crying about it. Like, it's like, that's why.
It's like, this is not going to get sympathy. Like, it's not. It's going to make it worse. I don't know what to tell you.
And then Anton and Callum are talking, and talking about how Georgia Harrison is upset, and how Josh saying that 70% of the people think that she's fake. And Deborah's like, she's obsessed with the 70% number, but ignores the thousands of viewers that voted.
Yep. Yeah.
Jonathan, no cure for the ick. If it's done, it's done. Like, it's actually like you're repulsed by the person. It's gross. Like, you're done. It's over.
And that's the thing. It's like she couldn't go after the audience, so she just like went after Josh, not realizing you're like even more. Because remember, George and Anton went into the back half of the season in third place,
right?
Fourth place. And if you remove Hannah and Tyler, third place. And look how far that they fell. And they would have went out had, things not happened. We'll get there, but
so obviously Callum is saying that people think that Anton is into Georgia more than she's into him, and this is kind of Callum trying to justify the 70% comment. But like, Callum has I remember him saying something to effect of like, yeah, like, he's not. This isn't working. Like, they're not. She doesn't like him like that. Like, they've talked about it a lot on the show and probably in conversations that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
But Anton thinks that people are trying to tarnish their relationship. And like, this angle is also really frustrating to me because it's like, you don't have a relationship to be tarnished. You are two people that are pretending like you like each other more than you actually do, and people are calling you out on it. And because they're playing a game that is supposed to be messy and you're supposed to speak your feelings and speak your truth,
right?
And you don't like what people have to say, people that they can see that you guys are not really as strong as you are, or you pretend to be.
No, yeah.
And then what do you think about Anton comparing Georgia to a janitor? It's like, she does. It's the little things she does for me. The little things, like, you don't see a janitor that opens the door. Like, you don't see the little things. It's like, that's the analogy that you're going to bring into the little things that Georgia does for you.
the magical behind the scenes person cleaning up after everybody. It's like, no, no, that's not a relationship.
Kunoichi here saying, I really tried to give both Anton and Georgia the benefit of the doubt, but they really give colleague vibes who tolerate each other because the boss is around.
Wow. I mean, you know what? That's a better analogy.
That's a better analogy.
That is a way better analogy.
And like doesn't want anybody to tell on them that they're slacking off. So like, George, like, shh. So Anton and Georgia Harrison have another conversation, and she now, he wants to gather everyone together to defend their relationship and call out Josh. So can we get everyone around the fire pit immediately? And everyone's like, what? And so they all go to the fire pit, and Georgia decides to say to Josh, like, so you say that we're game playing or whatever, and that 70% of the people here agree with you. Who said it? And trying to call him out. That is never the way to get what you're going to say.
So I do want to point out that Scott made a whole entire TikTok over this. He's like, how dare they? They're taking my whole. Who said it?
Scott, what's his last name?
Vandersloot.
Vandersloot, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
hold on. Do you think I can find it? Is his name?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that.
It was actually pretty hilarious. Listen, Scott off camera, way better than Scott over processed at this point.
What does this video look like?
Oh God, it's him just standing there.
There's so many. Is he outside? Is he with Catherine?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me look at the dates because
it had to be in the last week. So
15 hours ago. Does it start with him at the ITV studios? No.
He was at ITV studios. Oh, no, because he was talking about Love Island Nigeria, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's gonna come to Island."
No. Oh my God, there's so many videos of him. Tommy Boy. I don't know.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I don't know which one it is. Well, anyways, while we're looking for that video, I agree, V. Does Georgia ever smile around Anton? No. She does not look like she's having a good time. She looks like somebody that is being held against her will. That's how I see it. So Josh, though, is annoyed because you're calling him out to call people out, which he thinks that's the thing that a friend would do. But okay, how do you feel about that? Do you think that Josh should have outed people that didn't want to fess up to things that they said behind their back?
I agreed with Josh. Because my whole thing is, and even somebody said yesterday, say it to the face, but Josh was saying it to the face, but he also did the right thing in protecting other people who maybe had come to him in confidence in their observation. And it was for them, because it was publicly put out twice. You guys should say it, right? And if they're friends, it's like, I'm not going to say it for you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say who did it, but I'm going to say, right. I'm going to make it known that it's being said because A, you're also my friend, and also B, we were asked to come up with this information, and that's the observation I got.
I was definitely with Josh, and I was also with him for walking off because it's like she kind of wanted some sort of ambush of Josh. Yes. And wanted everybody to gang up on Josh and tell him how wrong he was. And he wasn't here for that. He's like, screw you. I'm not going to allow you to come and ambush me. So he storms off and Sophie follows him. I appreciate that Sophie follows him and doesn't just allow him to, she was there to support him. And yeah. Tom also followed him in support. So I thought that was indicative of people that he can trust, we'll say.
Yeah.
And that are willing to stand up for him. I don't know if Tom has specifically said anything about the relationship, but I love the fact that he's still standing up for his friend. So that never really gets resolved. And you know what, though? I think that Georgia Harrison also really likes having a storyline and having it all about her right now.
Yeah, I think that too. Because the way she kept going on and on and on and on, and at some point it was
And
just
making a
like,
big moment,
yes.
causing big drama.
And it was like, you would think at some point she would realize, maybe I should stop because it's not working the way that I want to. But she just kept going
And
and
going
kept going.
and
And,
going.
and I was just like, I can't. I can't. Like it's not like he's not wrong though. Like it's proven because he went. The audience agreed with him.
Mhm.
I can't.
So they're all getting ready for bed, and like while this is happening, Anton is saying that Josh keeps on trying to bring up their couple to bring them down, and I'm like, that is not what's going on, Anton. If that makes you feel better about the fact that she doesn't like you, okay, fine. Say whatever you need to say to make yourself feel better, but he's not trying to bring you down. You guys are already down, right? They actually are in a decent position, and who even like how would that even work? Bringing down their couple to bring them up? Like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And it even if that's what he was trying to do, um it only works if the audience doesn't it only makes that the case if the audience doesn't agree with him and he's creating something that then goes back to the audience. The audience already pre-agreed with
Exactly. Like I have seen, I can't think of an example right now, but seen people that um are like will do things negative about a couple so that they won't get like the votes in the end and stuff like that. And I think that actually might have happened. Like I do think that this whole drama with Anton and Georgia Harrison, I do think that it marred Sophie and Josh's perception in the eyes of some of the fans of the show.
Yeah, because
Because
I did see comments in on Instagram, um where some people were like, oh, that Sophie was bullying her.
excuse me.
Yep.
No, okay, you need to find those comments. I need to see some of those just so I can get mad shortly. Quinoki says, no wonder nobody wanted to fess up about being in the 70% when they saw Georgia Harrison drag this out with Josh for 500 plus episodes. Nobody has time for that. Yeah, they're probably just like, we just want this to be done with. We don't want to get into a fight. We don't want her explaining why our opinion is incorrect, even though it's correct. Like, we just don't want to be a part of that. So let's just hopefully let Josh take the brunt of this and it will just all die down, hopefully soon. Tom, Josh, and Sophie are all rehashing the whole situation and making a fair point, being like, if you're so strong, why do you need to ask for group support about a relationship? Like, do you know like when you're in high school, like you're dating a person your parents might not like, and you're defending him, you're defending him, you're defending him. Like, this is what it feels like. They're defending their relationship, but like that relationship was always a bad one. It was never the right relationship. They're always right. Your parents.
Yeah.
So,
It's true. It's like it's the same. That's another good analogy. It's like you're trying to make everybody like the relationship you're in when in actuality like you really need to get out of the relationship, but you're not going to admit it. You're not going to admit it.
Because then you might be able to smile again. She doesn't want to smile right now. She wants to be miserable. So Sophie, of course, is annoyed by Callum because she says to Callum, you just sat there like a ghost. Like, and I think that she's just kind of referring to the fact that like Callum has had a lot to say, but when it was time to speak up, he was mute. He was mute. I mean, he's quite diplomatic in general. Like, he doesn't usually like to cause a big fuss. Like, he is a truth teller for the most part, but he isn't a drama, like a pot stirrer. So
no.
So in the morning, again, Anton is bitching to Tom about the situation. And then Sophie and Josh are talking about it, and she just doesn't like the fact that Callum didn't really stand up for them, and doesn't like the fact that Anton, like how they gathered the group together, and how that everybody's like against Josh, and that like Josh has only been dishonest and like saying how he feels. Yeah, I really didn't like how the villa kind of let Josh like hang out to dry like that.
Yeah, it was frustrating, but I also think that no one was gonna win, so it's also like I don't know. Like it sucks, but also it's like kind of like, you know what, we're on the TV show, let him be the bad guy and we'll ask for forgiveness later.
Okay, fine. And maybe Josh knows that. Maybe he's like, okay, I'm friends with Georgia, so maybe we made a pact that like whatever happens in the villa we'll be fine after. But like sometimes we might have to do things for TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Maybe.
saying.
I hope that's the case because she's so annoying. And if I were Josh, I would never speak to her again.
Oh yeah, no.
But like if they have a pact, then maybe that's different. Okay, Dabu's here saying, mind you, Georgia initially cried when Josh told her, but now what to address the group? When to address the group as if she can handle the truth? Yeah, she can't handle the truth. She cannot.
Yeah.
So then Anton in the morning is telling Molly and Adam and Jess about the situation. Man, these people love to flog a dead horse here. Jess thinks that Josh thinks that Georgia Harrison was trying to embarrass him, and it's true. Like putting him on blast like that and it's supposed to be your best friend for 10 years, and you go put him on blast in front of everybody like that. Like, I do think it's inappropriate. I do think she's trying to embarrass him to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Hi, Danita.
Hi, Danita.
So they get a text, and girls are going to get pampered for Valentine's Day. So the girls end up leaving the villa. At the villa, though, Toby and Josh are talking, and wants to know why. Josh wants to know why are they asking for acceptance from everyone if their couple is as good as they say that it is, and it's very, very, very true. Like, if you are so strong in a relationship, then nothing's going to permeate it. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify anything. You don't need approval from anyone. You don't need anyone to like you or believe you. Like, it's just like you and your relationships. You have your little love bubble on and be like, nothing penetrates this. But the fact that they have so much to say about every single thing, for me, shows me that it's not true.
Yeah, I agree. I think I just think that they're just false at that.
And then they talk about how Georgia Steele and Toby are like in such a good place and they're so good, and like that's another false couple, but we'll get to them later. So Josh pulls Anton for a chat, and he does say that he's sorry for getting angry, and that like he had his opinion, but he could have responded a little bit better. But he kind of had his back painted up against the wall because he's being painted as a liar.
Mhm.
And Anton pretty quickly forgives him, and they hug. Anton like forgives the guys pretty quickly. I do think a part of him really wants to be in with the guys and like gets the girls and like has like I think he wants to be in with the bros.
Okay, I can see that.
And like I think that that's also making him want to be in like a relationship like the bros are, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Because at this point, I think that is the case for 90% of the villa, right? Like, and so when you feel like, oh, why am I different? Like, why is it different for me? Yeah, I can see that.
So the girls at the spa, Georgia, Harrison, and Sophie do end up having a talk, and Georgia thinks that he's projecting his negative opinions on everyone, and I'm just like, stop it, Georgia. Like, if it wasn't true, then
Right.
maybe I can get behind this. But she knows deep down that it is true. I
Right.
wish she just would take a different approach with this. Like, if she wants to defend a relationship, just be like, you know what? It's really hurtful for him to say this because we're still working things out, and I feel like him saying this is making it harder for us to like get to a good place. And then you'd be like, you know what? I'm sorry.
I could maybe go with that, maybe, but to me, it was just like a whole, like, it was like a, how do you say it? Just like, chessboard, like, oh no, I have to like keep going after this because first of all, it puts
Can't
me
let
out
him
there.
win.
Yeah. And then second of all, I need to win.
Well, I think that she feels that if she doesn't defend this in this way, that people will think that Josh is right, even though he is right. Sophie, though, is backing her man, which I liked. And Georgia Harrison says that if Josh wants to have a conversation, she will. So she's open to having a conversation at this point.
Yeah.
So the boys do get a text, and they have to prepare a date for the girls. It's hashtag date night prep.
No, sorry. I was clearing my throat.
Back at the spa, then Molly asks Georgia Steele how she is feeling, and she's like, "We're not made of steel." Sorry for the pun. But Georgia Steele is going to actually let it go. She's going to let it go. I'm like, whoa, okay.
And see, again, this is where Georgia still is the better game player between her and Georgia H, because she knew to say something, but let it go.
Molly and Arabella and Georgia Steele are talking, and Arabella feels like it's a real deal with her and Adam, but they're new, and anything can happen, and they all give each other a hug. The girls return from the spa, and they're all getting ready for this special evening that the boys have not said anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And so then all the girls come out, and they go and find their couple. And Toby made a headband for Georgia Steele. And okay, I get it. It's cute. But to me, it says faking a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's fake.
I don't know with those two.
Oh, and then when she says, so he gives her like the headband, and she's like, oh, "You're making me shy. You're making me so shy." And I'm just like, "You're so annoying."
What's funny about that? It's just so many people actually believe that she likes Toby more than he likes her. And it's just like they equivalently don't like each other.
Exactly.
Like, where are you?
Also, though, like they do kiss later on one of these episodes, but he almost never kisses him on the lips. It's always just like she always gives him the cheek, and like the cheek and then a hug, cheek and then a hug. I have seen them kiss obviously a couple times, but if I was dating somebody and we meet up for a date, I would give them a kiss on the lips, right?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think so. Especially since y'all supposedly had chemistry coming into this.
Deep history.
You would think that they would be a little farther along, but
they're toasting marshmallows. Fine. And nothing can knock them down. Nothing can knock them. I'm like, okay, sure. And he says though, like, do you want to be locked in?
Oh my god, she in this locked in. She was so pissed off about this locked in exclusive.
It is stupid. Konoichi here is saying you can see that Anton ate a match for Georgia Harrison, also by the fact that he won't stop this spiraling of hers. At least every time Georgia Steele starts her complaining, Toby laughs and made her whine less. This is true.
This is true.
But I think she's so with Anton that like nothing he says can work because she's annoyed by him. She has the ick by him. Like I don't think anything he'd be able to say would be able to work.
Right. That's why, like, even the next couple episodes after this, or it's the same episode, when she says something to him in a joke, like he knows she doesn't like him, and so that's why he took it offensively. Because no, you're not joking with me; you're joking at me, because you don't like me.
Yep. Konoichi says, I don't think Georgia Steele knows how to let it go, hence the Callum era. It's just that with Toby, she isn't getting the sympathy, so she isn't receiving the reaction she wants, so she stops her weird spiraling. Okay, fair. So Molly and her little date from Tom, she's never had anything quite as nice as this, and or anybody have done anything like this for her. And I didn't write down the words, but he had some nice words to say to her. And then we see Callum with Jess, and he tries to serve her a cake that he made. And they both say how happy they are. They're really, really happy. And then Adam reads a cheesy poem that rhymed to Arabella, the ending being, "And be your big bear." She really loved it. Okay. And then Sophie and Josh, she's really happy to know that she likes salami. So remember, this is a good point though, right? You should know these things. Like, she's like, "Oh, you listen, like, I like salami and like a charcuterie board,
Yeah. I told you, listen, food is the way to my heart. I could talk about food all day long.
But she's a Scorpio though, which is possible that they like things that can be passionate, but I don't necessarily think of them as foodies.
But my whole thing is like, but then you have to reciprocate that. Like, if I'm telling you my favorite food is a cupcake, every blue moon you should just have a cupcake for me.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
I mean, that's like not necessarily with food, but that's like my favorite thing is listening to somebody and giving people the perfect gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love that.
Yeah. Simple.
So simple. And if it's a food related thing, like, I will 100% be like, if I hear that you like a beaver tail with cinnamon and I'm going to see you and I pass a place that has a beaver tail with cinnamon, I will buy you a beaver tail with cinnamon. Like, yeah. Anyway, so it is nice though that he's listening, and I think is what she's really getting at here. And I love the fact that he recognizes that she has his back and that he trusts her. I'm like, he's saying things to me that tell me that he actually really likes her. I was questioning it, obviously, in the very beginning. Obviously, the Joanna era, I was questioning whether or not he was like playing with her and like was going to drop her in a second. But at this point, I do feel like he likes her, and I do feel like he's going to attempt to make it work outside the villa.
I think he definitely is going to attempt to make it work outside the villa. I've always said I never thought that Josh would stay with somebody just to stay with them. I literally think he would have left if he didn't like anybody, or he would have just kept going trying to find somebody until he left. And I literally don't think he would have made any promises of trying to like take this outside the villa, do something outside the villa. I do not think we would have heard anything. I think he would have been worse than Toby in that respect. I really do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I stand them as well. I like Josh and Sophie also.
They were my winner
really won me over.
They were my winner pick.
Me too. So for Anton and George's date, he's guiding her into a meditation, and she's like, "Oh, with her eyes open." He's like, "No, close your eyes." And she's just like, "Oh God." And like, so he's.
I want to know how he really feels about this meditation stuff.
Well, he doesn't have an opinion of his own, right? So.
Because that one time with the crystal that we talked about yesterday, like, she wouldn't let him talk. Technically. It was like, "Oh, well, no, you can't talk unless you have the thing, but I can talk whatever."
So he says, like, "Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath in and exhale through your nose and breathe in. And I want you to go back to the first time that you saw me." I'm like, "Anton, don't do this to this poor girl. You're going to give her the ick again." Like, calling himself her Scottish stallion. Anton, this is not the way to her heart. And then Georgia Harrison reads something. What did she read?
I didn't even see. I don't
know. And then they kiss after, and I said, I can't watch these two kiss. I just can't. Goodnight here says, "True, if Anton laughed at Georgia Harrison spiraling, it would start another fight." Yikes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He can't really do it wrong. Oh, and that was the end of Wednesday's episode. Oh, so short. Yeah. So Thursday's episode. Pardon me?
I there wasn't much that happened. It was really just a stupid on and on about the same thing where it's like, dude, can we move on? Please.
So then Georgia Steele is talking about we have the most amazing men, and talking with the girls, I guess, about the dates that they had, right?
Mhm.
And so apparently they're exclusive now, Georgia Steele says. And Molly says that she teared up because Tom had given her a bear and named the bear Ellie. It was so sweet. And Arabella reads the poem that she got from Adam.
Mhm.
And Sophie says that Josh was so nervous. It was cute and really special. And then Jess says that Callum made her a cake, and he feels that he's the happiest he's been in the villa.
Yeah.
It's probably true. In the boys' chat, we learned that from Toby that they're locked in. I don't know who I was writing something. No girl has. I don't know. I didn't finish it, but I'll probably be able to figure out in the end who said that. Anton says that we did a love meditation, and he's like, "No, what I love about being with Georgia Harrison is like we just laugh and laugh. We just laugh." And I'm like, she's laughing so she doesn't she keeps it platonic. She doesn't want it to get too sexual because she's not into it.
Fair point. I wonder how many people think that about laugh. Because for me, if a guy can make me laugh, it's
no. I love someone that can make me laugh. I'm not saying that. I think that it can be a turn on for sure. But I think that it's not like a big joke that they have. You know what I mean? They're just like I think it's just laughing in moments. Where maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable, or I don't see any jokes being told, or they have these inside jokes together, or you know what I mean, he does something silly. I don't know. I don't see it like a funny person laughing. It seems to me it's to deflect any sort of sexual things from going on. Okay. But anyways, I cut you off.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm wondering how many guys think that about when women laugh a lot at them. Even when they're trying not to be funny, but you find them funny and it's attractive to you. I'm talking about the flip side, not Georgia Harrison clearly does not like this.
They laugh through the pain. I mean, I think though you would be able to tell if the laughter was hurting the person's feelings.
Okay.
Right? I would think if you're doing it because you do find them funny in that moment and you're just laughing, definitely be like, "Oh my god, no, I didn't. Oh my god, I thought you're being funny. I'm so sorry." You know what I mean? That's what would end up happening, and you realize oh, maybe I have to be a little more careful with and considerate of their feelings if I'm laughing too much at everything that they're doing, because sometimes maybe they don't want to be considered funny. So I think that, there could be times where people would be offended or hurt by someone laughing in certain moments.
Right.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see them laughing through the pain. Georgia Kodoichi says, I don't even see Georgia Harrison often laughing with him. I feel like she laughs more away from him. I don't see them laughing together. When he said that, what she does, she makes me laugh. Or we laugh together. We have so much, we just laugh. I'm like, when? I rarely see you guys laughing. Callum is surprised about how well he gets along with Jess, and when he says this, he is I can see his face. He's like, I'm so surprised. He's so surprised that he likes her, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because it didn't work out the last time. And just but it's kind of well, maybe he didn't give it enough of a chance the last time.
Well, he was in Shauna's clutches, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so it's wow, it's not only did you come on here with your ex and that didn't work out because you were done, and then on top of that, you end up with somebody who not only you had a chance with years ago, but you also, she's also really good friends with your ex. You guys are in a friend group. I mean, this happens all the time in regular people's lives, right? Somebody you never, because we talked about it yesterday. Sometimes you just got tunnel vision. You're not thinking about anybody else. And it's now it's really eye-opening, because it's well, I've known her how many years? 5 years? And I would have never thought I would have never thought that we would like each other at all. And they do. I see it. I do see it.
Yep, he likes her. And it was Tom, I think, said that no girl has ever really made him feel that way. I think it was, and like it's never been, made him want to open up. And so they all cheers to love, happiness, and success. Molly and Arabella have a chat, and she says that she's yet to find fault in Tom, and she thinks that she's catching feels. And she also said that she's really happy for Callum. And she was getting upset over Georgia Harrison for the fact that okay, can you explain to me what's going on with Molly here?
Mhm.
Like, why is she upset over Georgia Harrison and Anton? Like, does she really believe that Georgia Harrison likes that man and people are just bashing the relationship for no
It
reason?
was so weird because I'm telling you, it felt like the conversation Sophie, her, and Jess were having was Sophie's like, guys, I don't think Georgia likes Anton. And Molly, because Molly, I think, is friends with Georgia, and Jess might be friends with her too. And we're just like, no, I think she really just like him, but like they had to come to this place and blah blah blah. And I think Jess came around. Like, oh yeah, no, she don't like that guy. And Molly was still like either trying to protect her friend or was like still have a good night.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Like she was still like not seeing what we're seeing, but maybe she's not seeing what we're seeing because she's so much more focused in her own relationships that she is not paying attention to Georgia and Anton's.
Or maybe she just wants to feel supported because, like,
Yeah.
Georgia is seemingly going through it, and so if she's not going to analyze it, she's just going to see like her friends upset.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like either she's just being protective of her.
Yeah,
I do feel like a lot of people who are friends with Georgia H knows what she went through on the outside and we're giving her a wide berth.
I can see that for sure. Josh and Georgia Harrison have a conversation, and she's like, you have a negative opinion about my relationship, and she's like, you want to knock us down a peg, and then you didn't stand up, you just ran off, and then she imitates him running off, like, so like now she's like being insulting, right? So, like, you ran for your life, and she's like, I'm telling you, I like Anton, I care about him.
And I would have been, what's his name? The basketball commentator guy. I would have been like that meme. You know what? I don't care. I'm here to tell you, we don't care. Thanks, Anita.
But she just says like, well, I think me and you are done as friends, and I'm like, wow.
And I agree with you. When she said that, and when it does like take not only what the audience was saying, but putting it all on me, I would have been like, you're not being a very good friend to me because I'm trying to be a friend to you. I was open and honest with you. And it clearly by what the audience said, they are seeing what I am seeing. So it's not like my opinion is of one, it's of many. So even if that like I'm going to tell you, I was very upset at her friend, but we talk about
oh yeah.
Because she played into her bullshit and it pissed me off on top of everything that she had been
doing. Absolutely. If I were Josh, I'd be like, and I'm happy that he's just like, if that's what you want, then fine then. Because would she rather, him just agree with her and be like, oh yeah, you guys are doing so amazing, you're so great, like you guys are a perfect couple, like yes, I see you guys on the outside, and completely lying, and then like come and then get this feedback from the audience, and then just not say what they think that the audience must be feeling or seeing,
thinking,
be upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you tell me the truth? Like, I'm up there looking like an idiot thinking that like people respect my relationship and you guys don't, but you didn't tell me.
She would have been upset when we get to like the voting, when we get to some of the other conversations that were being had, that's being thrown in, like So, we people don't think that you like, and then she would have been like, wait, why did nobody tell me? And then she probably would have still gone to Josh and be like, do you think that and I don't like Anton, or that me and Anton aren't good?
Game or
And
whatever.
yeah, and he was like, well, people have been saying, and I have been thinking it, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings. She's like, why didn't you tell me? That's why I said earlier, I don't know if there would have been any winning in this. Like, even if somebody corroborated what Josh said and said, yeah, I kind of said it, or yeah, I heard somebody else in the villa saying it, I don't know if Josh could have won in this situation. I just don't.
No, I think he also was realizing that. That's why he was just like, okay, I'm just gonna let her have her do whatever she wants. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be.
But I agree with you. I don't know if I could, regardless of the show. You keep saying, but we're friends on the outside of here. We're friends on the outside of here. You're taking stuff from the outside and bringing it into the villa and making it seem like I'm playing a game when we're friends on the outside. And so I would not be too sure of our friendship on the outside personally. No.
Now be done. Deaded. So everybody's in bed now, saying love is in the air tonight. Sure. But everybody else have pretty much had a good experience. I think Georgia and Anton, I guess that meditation was a good experience. So maybe love is in the air. And they talk about how the Adams poem was unbelievable. These guys have a low bar. It was okay. It was okay. It was unbelievable. Josh in their pillow talk telling Sophie about how Georgia ended the friendship. And this is how I also know that he likes her. He always tells her what's going on, like at bedtime, pillow talk. And that's very coupley, and that's means that you trust that person.
And so, he feels secure with her enough to open up to her, like, because he didn't have to tell her that. He could be like, whatever, because I mean, at that point he said whatever, but you could tell that, again, whatever was happening, carrying the outside coming in, it probably did affect him, and he was just like, the only person, because he could have talked to Tom, he could talk to Callum, he could talk to anybody, but he talked to Sophie because he knew, like, he felt safe enough to have that conversation with her.
So in the morning, Georgia Seals just talks about how it was her favorite night. It was her favorite night here. It's like another low bar, like some a heart headband and marshmallows is your favorite night.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like, kind of blame the producers, but also it's like, girl, nothing, not like, and again, I'm not the biggest experience in Valentine's Day, right? So I can't really talk. My bar is probably very low. I don't really have many romantic memories, and I was married for like 12 years.
But I'm just like, there's things that you could have probably have done that could have been a favorite that just didn't have to do with marshmallows and a headband.
Right. So I'm sure there's, stuff that
She says, I've never roasted marshmallows before with anybody, and he brought it up, and he's like, I brought marshmallows, or like, I've never made s'mores before.
Somebody did that on a TV show, right? Somebody did that, and it was like, huh?
S'mores, maybe, no?
No. I'm saying, didn't we watch a show and somebody actually said that? Like, I never roasted marshmallows with you, and this is the first time. Yeah, and I do feel like when I remember that whatever we were watching, it was like, oh my god, this is so romantic, right? Like, just that, but it, like, that's not the feeling I was getting. It was just very low bar on this.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the roasting marshmallows very romantic, very sweet, very like memorable, but I felt that it was just the producers like, hey, do you want to roast some marshmallows? Be like, yeah, okay.
And Danita is absolutely right. Low bar
for the season. So Josh tells Anton in the morning that it didn't really go down the best. I'm actually like liking Josh more and more because like he tells the truth and he doesn't care.
And that's what I said. I said, listen, Josh is wrong, but he ain't wrong. But I don't know how else to say it. So
Hi, Kate. We got a lot to talk about still, so you're never late. Thank you for being here.
Still here. Got a while to go.
So Arabella and Georgia and Anton are talking, and Arabella thinks that she could see a future with Adam, and then Georgia still says that she's always gonna back Toby no matter what. Like Toby's her guy. Like she's here for Toby. I'm just like, okay, we need to do like who. Maybe we'll do it at the end. But who do you think is going to start thinking about maybe how many months do you think these couples will stay together after? So
Okay.
we'll just have that going on in your mind, and we'll think about it hopefully at the end.
Including the ones that aren't who are couple but not in the finale.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll talk about it all.
Okay.
We have time. Georgia Harrison, Callum talk about this being the best Valentine's Day ever, and then Georgia obviously has to bring it back to Sophie and Josh being like, Josh and Sophie are being so immature, and I'm just like, they're actually not talking about it at all. They were playing a game. They answered the question. She backed her man. He said, "Okay, well, this is what I feel." And there's some people in the villa have said the same certain things to me, but they haven't said anything about it to you, which is fine. I'll take it on the chin. And then they're done. And then you keep on going, and you're the one that's like mocking him, and you're the one that's calling this group meeting, and these are all more, in my opinion, more immature things.
Yeah, you're the one that's keeping it going. You're the one who's not squashing it. I understand you might have some hurt feelings about it, but the mature, like, look at the stuff that Callum has been through, and he's had to squish a lot.
Kay says, Josh has grown on me. That man is giving old school at Love Island energy. He says what he thinks, period. Yeah, he does. He does say what he thinks. Georgia was longing it. Her insecurity and guilt over stringing Anton along is why she keeps banging on about it. Yeah. Oh, it's so annoying. I wanted to end. Do you know how much I was praying for her to be dumped? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
We'll get there. So Josh, Jess, and Tom are talking, and Josh just says, like, if she doesn't want my friendship, like, too bad. Like, he does. I love that he's so not bothered.
Yeah.
Just unbothered king over here being like, I spoke my truth. If you don't like it, that's too bad. I don't think you like this man. You can't convince me that you do. The more that you try to convince me, the more that I know that you don't like him. And if you don't want to be my friend because I'm calling you out on your bullshit, yeah, it is. It is what it is.
Bye.
So Callum, I think, got a text here. The boys are going to be leaving the villa this time. And so the boys do leave, and the girls are talking, and Georgia Harrison says, to be honest, I wasn't in a good place. Oh, this is what you're talking about. Maybe her at the outside world. Where
yes.
There.
Yeah.
And so she feels though if he were a friend, he would out everyone. And I'm like, no, if he were a friend, like to other people as well, he wouldn't out them. And it was a game, and he was honest, and that's it.
I've literally heard stuff from other people that I'm just like, all right, I don't want to, like, it was told to me in confidence, but I know that whoever it is, and you and I both know there's stuff that I find out that I don't ever repeat, but if I know that this is going to be detrimental to somebody, that they need a heads up,
or they don't want to be part of this,
I will give it, but I will not out who told me.
No.
I'd be like, I heard this. I can't tell you, but I can't tell you who.
It's like she's being a bad friend for like trying to get him to out other people to tell her. Like he shouldn't even, like he should be like, listen, okay, this is what I've been hearing. Take it as you will. I'm not going to say who it is, but like you could take that information however you want.
And to be fair, you have to know who and who you can tell, because remember, like when Toby told Kaz what was said and what was done when it was almost time to did Kaz ever repeat it?
Not until it was
outed.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
when she was trying to, because Georgia obviously was the one that was like, "Oh, you said this about me," like,
and that's the difference. And I think if you've observed her behavior, in the villa already, knowing that she's going to do that, I wouldn't say anything either. I wouldn't say who either.
Kay here says we literally sat through 4 episodes of Georgia Harrison going on and on about it. Now she tops Olivia as the most annoying Islander.
Yeah. Olivia really thought she was eating. She really thought she was eating that entire season with all the going on and on and on and on and that. And the same way that I felt about Georgia H is the same way I felt about her dumper.
Kay says that Georgia Harrison acts like she too doesn't gossip. She sat and chatted with Georgia Steele about Molly. She lacks self-awareness. Yep.
Yeah.
Sophie is annoyed that she's going on and on and on about it. Don't worry, Sophie. We're with you. We're with you. But the girls get a text, and so they're all going to get some video calls from home. I think it's interesting that, because, usually it's like the dates together have like the video calls where you meet the family.
I'm telling you, low bar. How much money did they could they not pay for the Wi-Fi for these calls or something? Like what?
You want a camera crew to have to go out there to set it up?
It was I don't know. Everything about this made no sense.
But everybody was shocked and crying and excited, and it's like they've been gone for a month. Like, do they I don't know why they need. They're so. Maybe I'm just too cold-hearted, Aquarius. Like, I don't have a heart, but I don't know if I would care at this point.
The way that some of them were crying, I was like, "Oh my god!" I understand missing home, but I don't feel like it's been that long.
Hasn't been long enough for me to be crying like that.
No.
Kay's agree with you. Budget was low this season.
It's like, yeah, like I know they're in South Africa. Could they not afford the South Africa Wi-Fi? Yeah.
Low bar. So the boys are still chatting though on their little outing, and Josh is happy to be cringy, which I'm like, I love Josh so much. He's talking with Callum, Toby, and Josh are talking, and Josh does mention that Georgia dropped their friendship, and Toby's tells him that he's locked in, and she has a what in her eye? A glisten in her eye. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Georgia still has a glisten in her eye when she says that they're locked in. No, not exclusive. Locked in.
Locked in.
So Sophie's the first to get a call from her sister, who's also beautiful. And Sophie's crying, even though she's the ice princess and ice queen, and she never cries. And her sister also notices that she never cries. She said that she was surprised that her sister, Sophie's sister was surprised that Sophie, how much she likes him. She wasn't really sure how much she likes Josh. And Sophie was really defending this. She's like, no, we align so much. We love like doing the same activities. We love, doing things together, the same stuff. Like they do seem like they align with how she was speaking about him, which I was like, I wish we got to see a little bit more. And I'm shaking my fist at the fact that we're not seeing more about them developing their relationship, because I think that if we had, we might have had a different result in the final.
Yeah.
But the ice queen is slowly melting, and it was, I liked her conversation, and I liked how she spoke about Josh. And I liked the fact that her sister still called him out and being like, we were side-eyeing him when the whole Joanna thing came around. And Sophie was like, but he made it up to me.
I loved that she spoke for the audience. She spoke for the audience. It's like, in the beginning we were like, but now we really see it. And it's like, yeah, we do too. Like, it's not one of those situations where people are like, oh, we really see what you see in him. And it's like, she's like, we're still, giving him just a little bit of the eye, but he's coming up. And it's not like when people be like, oh my God, we love him. He's great. And he's been like dumping her for every girl that's walked into the villa. And you're just like Sammy. Like, it's like
situation. Yeah.
It's like, what do you like? Did you watch the same show we watched? And you're her family.
It was Justin and C. Who's that?
Justin and C.
Justin and C. Who's Justin and C?
Justin C.
I don't know any Justins in the UK. I don't think.
The only Justin I know is Justin from The Bachelorette.
Oh,
But
I don't know
who C is.
Kay says Josh and Sophie are unconventional and a bit quirky. Facebook moms must have a certain aesthetic, and this season seems to be an appeal to that group. Blonde and tall, white. Is that the Facebook moms aesthetic? Right? I think.
I don't even know anymore. They listen. I've
are not standing Josh and Sophie, right? Who are Facebook moms standing?
Oh, you know what? I haven't even looked. I've been so like out of. I haven't even looked.
I'm sure it's Molly though. I'm sure. It's
Molly. I'm sure it was probably Molly.
Let me go to this Love Island group. And see what they have to say. Okay, let's see. Oh, oh yeah, my faves to win. Yeah. Well done, Molly and Tom.
Yeah.
So please, Molly and Tom won.
Blonde and white.
So deserved. Oh, made up for them. They deserve to win. Me too. Predicted that this couple was going to win weeks ago. So happy.
Callum just had a little too much black blood in him.
Yeah, I mean, he looks maybe Middle Eastern, partially. I couldn't really tell.
Callum?
Yeah.
As far as I heard, he's like maybe a quarter.
Oh,
the most black.
Is that why I think he's hot? I love a mixed man usually. They're usually cute. I'm trying to see if there's any more Mollies. Yeah, basically everybody. Those are the only people that. Oh, someone voted for Jess and Callum. Okay. Well, which makes sense. Okay, so there's a poll. Who are your winners? Actually, the Facebook moms say Callum and Jess. So you were right because you were saying that the Callum was who was going to.
I was shocked because coming into this, that's all I heard. Callum. And that Jess, unless they just don't like Jess, I don't get it.
With this poll, okay. Let me vote my vote here just to help that out a little bit. 371 votes. Callum and Jess got 52% of the vote. Tom and Molly got 39%. And then Georgia Harrison and Anton, Sophie and Josh, and Georgia Steele and Toby all got 3% of the vote. And before I made a vote, it was Sophie and Josh had 2% of the vote, but like it bumped it up to 3%. So
what did they not like about Sophie and Josh?
I would say melanin.
Yeah.
And then for Georgia and Toby, melanin. And I think Georgia, H, and Anton, I think they don't like Georgia.
Oh, yeah, no. I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think I said it yesterday. Going into this, I think they were willing to overlook Georgia for Anton, but then Anton started outing himself as not a nice person.
Rachel says Facebook used to really like Anton, but Georgia Harrison messed it up.
Yeah.
They liked Cal too, but they were always going to go for Molly and Tom pairing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Sophie Josh split the Callum.
Right. Because those would be the two people that I would be voting for, those two couples. Right. And so I could imagine, I personally would have voted for Sophie, but I could see people like
split
that would take away from the Callum vote. So
right. And then it just because people, so I think the Molly Tom train. Remember, the public put them together, so the Molly Tom train just were, stuck.
Yeah, solid for them.
Yeah.
Instead of splitting any sort of votes, and like it could, who knows what the margin was, right? It could have been quite small.
Correct. correct.
Yep, Georgia H sunk Anton's ship. She probably knew that he was popular and like didn't realize that her touching him was going to taint him.
She thought if she was just so insistent of how much she liked him verbally, that would snow the audience, and it was like it was so clear you did not like the man.
Not at all. He says Anton's nice guy mask started to slip too. He's not nice, not always kind. I agree.
That's what I said.
It's happened a few times, and I was like, "Ooh, he has."
That's what I said yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, it shows that it's all a mask,
It's all a mask,
and that's what people are not connecting with.
Yep. And I kept saying it in the beginning, something about him.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him allowing Kaz to like prop him up and give him all the reassurances after he was going through everything with Georgia H.
Stand up.
He did not stand up for her. He, in fact, was insisting on dumping her. And I can understand protecting Georgia over her, but you wanted to protect Hannah over when Hannah and Tyler had just said that they were over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kay says, I wouldn't be surprised if Molly, Tom, and Cal and Jess margins were pretty close. Both couples had two Islanders that were the most liked. Absolutely. And Molly and Tom didn't have a split vote there. So
yeah,
I think you're 100% right. So Georgia Steele gets a call from her bestie, Danny Dyer. So she was a winner of season 4, I think, Danny.
Oh, okay.
Or 3. So yeah, so whatever season Georgia was from, so season 4 then I guess. No, she was season 5.
Georgia H or Georgia S?
S.
So Georgia S was
from season 2.
Georgia S was from season 4 because that's the one I didn't watch. And I was told that.
Okay, yeah. So there was season 4 is the one that she's on, right? With
unless she was on 2 seasons because
I was thinking season 2 with Katie.
Oh, okay. Because from what I was told with Love Island Games, she was on the same season as Jack and EL, and that's how they became friends. Yes. And Megan, and so it was like a whole season.
And Adam, I think Adam, the other Adam Collard.
Yeah. So that's what I heard.
And I was I believe that Danny won that season with, was it Jack? Anyways, and her dad is like a famous actor named Danny, but spelled like the male way. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that they're besties, I didn't know that, but I feel like with some of the people that they brought on for these video calls was to be like, see, they are all stars, right? They're friends with like all stars. Like we're having all star people come on to cameo.
You should have brought that all star on to date then.
Well, they're both married and one has children.
It's like, stop. You could have brought anybody on it. That's why all the good ones are either too popular to come on or take it. Please stop.
Kate says it's safer to be with a kind person. Someone can play nice and have. Kind. You talked about kind with Taylor yesterday.
Yeah, and that's what. And when she said it was such a gem drop to me that I was like, oh my, never thought about it, but thinking about it, I actually made sense to me. Like I more appreciate somebody who's kind and kind-hearted than somebody who's just nice, because you can fake nice. You can fake nice.
Can definitely fake nice. So Georgia's been emotional. It's been up and down for her here, and Danny just says like you need to keep trusting him and you need to keep your guard down. And Georgia still wants what she has, that being like a husband and kids, and so she mentions like she was pretty annoyed by it, but the fact that she says like that we're locked in and like are we exclusive and what does that mean, and she doesn't know what that means. And Danny's like, well, maybe you should like ask him to be your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And you know what, I think if she had done that, they might have gotten higher up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there was a few moves left and she didn't see it because she don't really want to be much with that man. But I also think if she had asked him, there are a segment of the population who are like, oh man, and he had like And because remember, at this point, he's already outed that he felt abandoned by Chloe. He was cheated on, and that is why he did the things that he did. And I think that was a play that could have been done. We should do like you know how they have Game of Roses for Bachelor. Like gameplay for Love Island.
Okay, we can do it. We can figure it out for the summer. I'm definitely in.
Yeah.
So the next call is Georgia Harrison gets a call from Olivia Atwood. And yeah, Kate, I was pissed off at this woman. So Olivia's also very popular from, I guess they're all from season 4, right? Oh my God, they're all blending together.
You want me to look it up?
Season 4, season 3. Olivia Atwood. No, it was a different season. She was in the season with Danny, because like Chris and Cam. No, Cam. Hold on, I'm mixing everything up. Cam won, must have been series 3 with
series 3 Love Island, it says.
And who won with Cam? Katie? No.
The series 3 was Amber and Cam.
Amber is her name, yes. And Cam won. You met Cam on Love Island Games. He hosted with Maura.
Yeah, and he's done a couple of podcasts on the main podcast, so I did know of him. Yeah.
So she was very popular on her season for sure.
And this is where Georgia Harrison was from.
Correct. Oh my God, it's all blending together, unfortunately. That was a very good season. That was the first season that I ever watched, actually.
Okay. Yeah, somebody told me I should go back and watch season 4.
Season 3 and 4, and 2 is also very good.
Yeah, I will probably work on that. It's just that there's so much TV. Like when I watched 6, 7, and 5, like, well, no, 6, 5. Yeah, 6 and 5. It was just those 2, and it was COVID, and I had so much time on my hands.
I know. It's kind of like I like to be up to date with all reality TV, but like I'm also should be up to date in regular TV, and I'm not. And that it's actually bad. I should have seen more. But there's too much like reality TV because it's so cheap to make, and they just keep on spitting out new shows.
Yeah, and it sucks because regular TV is like sometimes once you miss a couple of episodes, like you have to find where it's streaming if you didn't record it on a DVR, and it is very frustrating because I have filled up my DVR with regular TV trying to think I'm going to go back and watch it, and then I never get to watch it because I'm doing reality TV.
I hear you. Debbie says if Olivia, who's super popular, questioned Josh as a friend, that's got to hurt them with the votes. Yeah, I was really irritated by her being like, because Georgia asked him about like, how do you feel about Josh or in the whole situation? And then Olivia's saying that she's disappointed with Josh. And I'm like, why are you lying like that, Olivia?
Yeah, it was very, very, I was so pissed. And I don't know who Olivia is. So I was not like, oh, I can understand why she's saying that. I was like just pissed because my whole thing is, you know what the narrative is on the outside. You know that we think this.
Yeah, all she needed to say is like, I'm disappointed that Josh wasn't. You don't feel like Josh was standing up for you as a friend, but I can understand maybe where he's coming from because the narrative outside here is that it just doesn't seem like you care for him as much as you maybe do. And she's like, I know you, and if you say that you really care for him, like I believe you, but I can understand by maybe how things have gone in the villa and what has been shown on the TV show, why other people might not feel that you're into him.
Yeah. Instead is like, oh, I feel like he should have left it. He like, what? Like, she was the one going on and on and on.
Dabu says that Olivia is a panelist in the UK version of The View, so that's the Loose Women. Opinion really matters, absolutely, but like maybe like they have to like shape and carve that opinion because like her opinion wasn't truthful, in my opinion. In
It
my
was
opinion,
not truthful.
the truth was not.
It was not truthful. It was unfair to Josh and Sophie because you know what the narrative is on the outside. Listen, people don't like Arabella, and they were willing for her to stay and Georgia to get dumped.
The people in Georgia Harrison's life coddle her, they let her spiral, and clearly don't call her out on her bullshit.
And that's what I was saying yesterday. I feel like she was also trying to like inflict that into the show a little bit. Like, I deserve this. I've been through so much. You guys know I've been through so much on the outside. Like little flecks of that in order like that she deserved to win, and that it wasn't fair that she wasn't winning and we weren't allowing her to win with Anton, who she didn't like.
She could have maybe convinced us with almost any other person.
Yeah. I think that's why she was upset that Casey didn't come in and just sweep her off her feet. But Casey is not that type of player. He's never been that type of player. And he was the Scott before there was Scott. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ready to just be like, I'll just go home. Like, I don't like you. I'll just go home. And then, you know, with what you call it, Josh, again, I think it also had him side eyeing because he's like, you know, we're just friends on the outside. I don't want you like that. Like, why would you put me in that position?
Okay, so Dabu says same network that did Georgia and Bear trial case documentary. Perhaps they're overly trying to protect her.
I can see that, but it didn't work here.
Well, it didn't work, and I think the best way to protect her is not have her be on the show.
Correct.
Kay says, yes, she has an ego because she thinks that she is a real celebrity in comparison to the other Islanders because she has popular circle and has been on British morning television shows.
I can also see that. I can absolutely also see that if that's the case. I think
she did say one thing that she wanted was someone that could walk the red carpet with her.
Yeah, I think she felt entitled to this win. I'm telling you, I said it yesterday, and based on these last few episodes, correct.
Even.
Yeah.
Naya says, I think Georgia Harrison went on the wrong show. Maybe Celebrity Big Brother would have been better. A love show doesn't seem like the smart move after her incident. Do you know
what?
She should have done that.
She should have done that.
But that same person did win Celebrity Big Brother. So, like,
so I would have went on here. He won it. I'm going to win it.
But you see her personality, though. Like, I feel like she would be like, oh, like he won. I need to win. Like, I don't know. She might come. I don't know if she would have
I still think that it probably would have been a better move than this one.
Better move. Protect. Yeah, exactly. I agree. See, protection would be for her not to have been there. 100%.
Yeah.
So obviously, Olivia's husband joins and says that he wants Molly and Callum to get back together, and that's kind of what a little bit what the narrative is going on outside the villa. I mean, we all like them together, but they just have familiarity. You know what I mean? And so that's why we like seeing them interact, but I don't think that they need to get back together.
No, not at all. I mean, as somebody who is cordial enough, I'm not like, I haven't been stuck in a villa with him so that we have to be friends, but someone cordial enough with my ex that I can be cordial. I don't want that man. And I think he's figured out he doesn't want me. And so, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, we're cool. We're fine. We don't have to be friends. But that, like, just because we're cool and fine, there's so many people who see us being cool and fine and, parenting our kids and being there for our kids. And that means that, so there's no chance that you two will get together. No, that man is not my person. He's not my person. And I'm okay with that. It made everything much easier realizing he was not the man for me. And I think that's where Molly got to this, is like the fact that Callum still could not give her what she wanted. He's not the man for her.
Deb, who's like, Celebrity Big Brother? Can she handle anonymous nominations? No, she would freak out, actually. I don't think she would do well in that situation now that I think about it. So after all the phone calls, there's a mini fire pit, and she just talks about how, oh my god, like Olivia was on the set of Loose Women when she came to have her conversation with me, and I was like, proving that she's an all-star. I get it. I get it. And so and then also talk about like the Callum and Molly thing, and like a few people bring up that their persons that they chatted with had spoken about the public wanting Callum and Molly to get back together.
Which is going to be another thing that pissed me off, and we'll discuss.
Well, and then Sophie is obviously annoyed again because, of course, Georgia brings up again about Olivia not being happy with what Josh has said and not being a good friend. And Sophie's like, I'm over speaking about it. I thought it was done. And so did we. Well, no, actually, I never really thought it was done, but I thought it should be done.
Should be done. Should have been done.
Yeah. Agree, Kay, Molly, and Callum were literally just showing a good display of proper adulting. Check.
Period.
We do see Jess's friend, and she says that you bagged the hottest guy in the villa. I agree. And they talk. She also mentioned that there being a lot of buzz though about Callum and Molly, but he's speaking well of her, and so
yeah, I liked how her friend said it, because it was literally like, I know that there might be some concern, but there's nothing that I'm seeing. Just so you know, though, the public might come out hating you a little bit because they wanted Molly and Callum to get this. That's not how she was saying, but that's what she was meaning.
Yeah, of course.
Just to warn you, they wanted them to get back together, and you stop that. But all I've seen is that he's very into you.
I agree, and I agree with how she handled this.
Yeah.
So Molly is obviously defending this to Jess, saying like there's nothing going on with me and Callum behind your back, like nothing's happening, like, and like Kay said, it's just proper adulting happening, that people are just like, like,
because there's so many people who are just like so immature. I can't be friends with my ex, that means I still want him. No, it doesn't. It does. Like literally, it could mean that you just don't want him, but you're okay. Like, he wasn't the worst person on this earth, so you're okay being in the same room with him. Not every breakup. I mean, there were parts of my breakups which I wish I didn't go through, but it wasn't to the point where I can't. Yeah, like I can't be around him, right? Like there are relationships like that.
Molly's best friend Sophie comes onto the video screen, and they're crying, and Molly's dog, was it Nellie?
Yeah, Nellie.
Yeah. So they all say that her mom and dad love Tom and they think he's really nice, and Molly does say that she's happy for Callum finding somebody else in there, because maybe she had a hard time with the breakup, and so but her family seemed to have known Callum, and so it's nice that they're giving the blessing, and like it seems like everything's amicable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's giving. Listen, Molly came in there and he still couldn't give her what she needed, and so everybody in their personal lives that actually know them gave up the ghost. There's nothing left. It's okay. I mean, I gave up the ghost a long time ago, because I had people in my DMs like, oh, who do you think is going to win the show? I said, well, if Molly and Callum were to get back together, they would win the show, but they're not going to get back together. And I had people in my DM, oh, when are Molly and Callum going to get back together? I said, I think that ship has sailed. Yeah, I think you got to get on it.
If it did, it would be on the show. It would be at another time.
Yeah.
Molly explains the conversation that she has to all of the girls with their mini fire pit. Next up, we see Arabella's best friend Charlotte, and Arabella finally thinks that she's getting her happy ending, and her friend was talking about and Arabella also said that the Toby situation really made her appreciate Adam. And she says it's like the most magical moments of my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, low bar again, another low bar here, because like I don't really feel like Adam is really that into her, but
listen. Sorry, my light almost fell. I'm not really seeing the actual chemistry of these two, but I feel like they had more chemistry than Georgia H and Anton, which is not really saying much, but saying a lot.
Maybe even more than Georgia Steele and Toby.
True. Yeah. I mean, at least sexually. I just don't know about on the outside.
I don't think so. It's so the distance, like when he's in Ireland and she's in somewhere in the UK.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They were trying to make it seem like they were going to be closer than they were, but I think he's moving home. And the home is where she lives. Bashada, I don't know what they're saying. Anyway.
Kate says, man, Arabella was channeling her messy Mitch after those calls.
Oh my God. Let me cuss this girl out one time. She pissed me the hell off.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so unnecessary. And then it's like everything that you're saying about other people, you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything y'all are sitting there like, Josh said, no, you're doing that. You are sitting there trying to mess up four people's relationship because you twisting what was said.
100%. It's kind of like, well, I mean, okay, it was good for her friend to be like, you and Adam, like, I could see the connection with you guys right away, and Arabella wants to share that with all the people. And then the guys came back. Just before we get into that conversation, did you notice that Georgia Harrison goes and she jumps and wraps her legs around Anton, like pretending like she likes him, and then all the other couples were kind of like cuddling and like kiss on the head and like just like hanging out, and she's completely separate from Anton and like just standing side by side, but like not touching or whatever at all. And that was also to me indicative that she does not like that man. Say that. Oh, is it next day when Arabella gets all?
No, I think it was nighttime. It was same day, nighttime.
Or next episode. Sorry, next episode, not next day.
Oh yeah, next episode. But it was like they waited for those conversations until the nighttime.
Mm-hmm. So the guys are all in the bedroom, and they can't wait to talk about the girls because the girls have like this chats that they had, and they hear what was said and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they're talking to Josh about are you guys done yet? He's like, yeah. Girls are all getting ready for the night. And then we see Arabella telling Adam about Charlotte's thoughts about things. And I'm like, okay, this is your couple. You're allowed to tell him what you want to tell him. That's fine. Georgia Harrison tells Anton about Olivia's response. I'm like, you're so annoying. Like, you're just getting more backing that, like, yeah, you see, even my friend Olivia, like, she said that Josh was being a bad friend to me. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Anton, and she just felt so elated.
Mm-hmm. Pissed me off. It so pissed me off because I was like, that is not what's going on.
Oh yeah, and Arabella is a little bit later. Okay, so then Sophie tells Josh and Callum and Jess about her conversation, and that she cried, and that they were a little bit annoyed about the Joanna situation, but then she does mention that Georgia Harrison pissed her off. Mm-hmm. Like, they were done with this already, and like she needs to bring it up, of course.
Right.
Toby and Georgia Harrison talk, and wants to know what's exclusive, and which I thought was kind of funny because he's explaining it's like, well, I haven't met your family yet, and so like we're just locked in, and like trying to like, what's the difference between locked in and exclusive? And so Georgia then yells over to Anton, being like, "What's exclusive?" I think it's this conversation, right?
Yes.
What's exclusive? And Georgia thinks, or no, what's his name? Toby thinks that locked in is better than exclusive. And Anton was like, well, then do you want to be my girlfriend? Like, I was like, Georgia, I've never seen someone freeze. She went white. She saw ghosts. Like, she saw Kingsley's grandfather.
What did I do? How do I get out of this? No. It's like, what? No, wait, what? No.
That's
Like,
not what we're
what-
talking
this
about
is,
here.
this is a conversation. Shouldn't we have privately?
Privately. She's like, no, I want to do it in front of everybody. And she's just like,
Oh God. I mean, I really think that this is a private conversation we should be having.
oh my God. I really, really laughed when that happened because she does not want to be boyfriend and girlfriend with that man. But yeah, Toby thinks that not meeting someone family is like that's the final stage, and that's locked in, and then meeting family is exclusive, right? No, exclusive, and then meeting family is locked in, or locked in is right before meeting family, boyfriend, girlfriend. Stupidness.
His season screwed up love life.
Sorry, Kay says Jordan Harrison hit the reverse Uno real quick.
She was like, wait, no, then I'm your girlfriend. Anyway, we'll get there. But I don't think it's unfair to feel like you want to talk to your family and make sure you're making the right decision.
Sure, that's fine.
Like, some people do that in regular dating. Like, okay, before we like really become serious, I want you to meet my parents, or you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's
especially a little old schooly.
It's a little juvenile, I would say, like more like you're 16 years old, and like before you were my girlfriend, you had to come and meet my dad, like or my
That's
parents.
it's a little old schooly. That being said, I also think it's an excuse.
100% is an excuse. I mean, like, you know, before we take it to the next level, I want to make sure that we're really serious and like you meet my family.
Yeah.
So then that day could never come if you choose. Jess tells them about like what her friends are saying about the outside world about Callum, and Callum does clear it up. He's like, we get along. Like, I like her. We're happy for each other. Nothing's happening with us. I'm interested in you, Jess. Like, I understand that he does mention, like, I could see that they would want us to get back together. So it's like some sort of fairy tale that like we weren't together and then we come to the show when we find each other again and we met on the show. I get it that they could want that, but that's not what's actually happening here. And I'm not doing anything to aid their desire for this reunion. Molly tells Tom about Sophie and Nellie and how proud her best friend is. They say that they like him and that she wants him to meet Nellie one day, of course. Georgia Harrison, Anton, and Arabella are talking and talking about the Tom and Molly thing and the Callum thing. And Tom is upset. So this is where she starts talking, like telling so much information about Tom, right?
Yes.
And she's like, in my head, I'm like, why are you piping in about this, Arabella? Like, you didn't have somebody that was saying this, did she?
No. It was because eventually it comes back to Molly, and Molly's like, Tom was like, oh well, it was supposedly said during a few different. She's like, well, it was said during mine, and I think like Georgia Harrison, but it would like that, and I mean, and Jess, okay, but obviously Jess makes sense. Olivia was just being gossipy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't said during Arabella.
Arabella, George Harrison, and Anton is the worst blood rotation. Oh, it is the worst trio ever for sure. And it's also like they're not the ones that seeing things in the outside world, right? So why is Arabella going and giving this information to Tom? It's not going to make him feel better about anything. It's not going to benefit him in any sort of way. To me, it only is to make him feel upset and maybe tarnish their couple a little bit. Like that's the only thing that makes sense, because like, why are you telling him? And Molly sees them talking about this and she's like, I can see Tom look at him, I can tell he's fuming. That's also pretty nasty. If you're supposed to be such good friends with Molly, wouldn't you, and I think Molly brings this up later, being like, hey, like, I've been hearing some things in the outside world, I don't know what's being said, or if anybody else had people tell them these things, but maybe should talk to Tom about like how you're feeling, because like he's gonna probably feel a type of way about some of the comments from the outside world.
Yeah. Arabella and Molly aren't friends. I'm gonna say that
But that's
because
his best friend in the villa.
no. Because you would not have gone to Tom and told nothing. You went to Tom to screw up her couple. And there was no reason for, oh, well, I thought that it would, as his friend, I wanted to give him a heads up, especially it wasn't that serious. So if it wasn't that serious, Arabella, why the heck did you bring it up?
Because she was being messy.
Yes. On purpose to mess up their couple. And at the end of the day, and I'm sure it's a lot of insecure. Again, when we saw the public voting for all the stuff, did we see anything about Tom and Molly up on the podium? Nope. Did we see anything
Except for
up
being
on
smart.
yeah up on the podium for Callum and Jess? Really? Nah. And when you're watching this and you, Arabella, are in a couple that's gotten game player, you guys are, I mean, she got smart, but which I was like, really?
Just age.
Yeah. And all sorts of other negative connotation. Yes, partially because you guys were newer in the villa, but also because it's you, Arabella. You are going to be like, well, maybe if I just like mess with them a little bit and let Tom, maybe Tom will back out of this and screw up their couple. And I'm telling you, that's what she was doing. Everything they were accusing Josh of doing, and the reason why they were accusing Josh of doing it is because that is their intention of doing to other people. And they were doing it to Tom and Molly.
And Tom like was upset, and of course he's gonna be upset because he's like, oh my god, I'm in this couple with this person, and like maybe the audience is seeing something that I'm not seeing, and like something's going on behind my back, and like that's really sucks. Like I would be insecure about that as well. And so Molly is of course annoyed at Arabella that she told him, and I'm like, yeah, good, Molly, get her. Like get her. We see also Callum defending the situation, and it's like these people love making situations up that don't exist because they've all been threatened by Molly this whole season. Molly is just like, they're just being beautiful and unbothered and getting all the guys that just still want to be with her and want to do anything for her, and everybody else just trying to tarnish her relationship, her feelings. Like, you see Georgia still being like, sorry. I'm like, oh, it's his heart raised for me.
Yeah.
Like they just want to take her down so many pegs all the time. And like, I love that she doesn't take the bait.
True. And at the end of the day, it was kind of like, she was like, I just don't understand. Like the reason I did not say something to him is because I didn't think it was that serious. And then Arabella's going to be like to Adam, well, I mean, it wasn't that serious, but in here, everything gets back. But the water only got carried because you decided to carry it, Arabella. Nobody else decided to carry the water. So, and even if you,
I'm not having a falling out with you over this. I'm not having a falling, like, it's like, I might have a falling out with you.
I would have had a falling out with you. We aren't really friends, because why? If you felt that way, like, oh, it was eventually going to come out, why didn't you come to me as your best friend in the villa and say to me, best friend, just so you know, hey, I think you might want to tell Tom. It'll be better coming from you. And I think Molly would have taken that.
It would be better coming from you would be the great thing, because that's what Molly was saying. She's like, well, it doesn't look great that I didn't think it was a big deal, and then you guys go and tell him before I do. Like, if you think it was a big deal, come and say something to me, and I will tell him, like, I don't think it's a big deal, but it looks a lot worse if you guys are going and telling him before I do.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was messy and rude of both Arabella and Georgia H. I've already haven't been a fan of either of them this season, but this was just like locking it in further.
Pissed me off, that entire section. And India even said it. She's like, because somebody asked, well, do you think Arabella was right to say something? And she's like, well, listen, I'm queen of, if I don't think it's important, I ain't going to be initiating conversation.
Well, and it's kind of like a negative comment. It's like, well, why are you bringing it up then if it's not a big deal?
Right. Like, if I don't think it's a big deal, I'm not going to bring it up. But she said, to be fair, yeah, it's the villa. It's the villa. It will get back to, which is why she should have said, "Hey, Molly, I'm just like if you're
I've been
really
hearing
my
this, so like I don't know if you said anything to Tom yet,
friend."
but just so it comes from you first, like maybe you should
Right.
say something. Yeah.
That's it. That's what a friend does. What a friend does not do is do what Arabella did.
Mm-hmm. Self-serving.
Yeah.
Tom does reassure Jess, talking about the fairy tale thing and that people just really wanted them to get back together, but there's nothing going on. Molly then pulls Tom. She also says there's nothing going on, and he's like, I heard from 3 people. Like, this makes me feel a type of way, and it's not the nicest feeling. And then he's like, okay, but it's squash. Like, I think she's like, oh, you're really pretty. Like, and if you're telling me that it's fine, I'm like, it's fine. Okay, yeah. I believe you. Yeah. Josh pulls Georgia Harrison again for a chat, and oh my goodness, this woman does not let him say a word. And he's like trying to just explain to her the situation again, and she just like cuts him off, and she's like, are you gonna let me finish? She's like, cuts him off again, and she just always needs to talk, and it's like she never listens, and it's very annoying.
It
and
is.
I don't think I would be able to be her friend for sure, even after this now with Josh. Like, I don't know why he keeps on trying, but he tried again.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have. I'm going to tell you the truth. I have my limits, and I would have been like, you know what? I'm not even having this conversation with you. Oh, well, that means we're not going to be friends on the outside. Cool, peace.
Exactly. And then when she was like, she thought that she really nailed it with this one, when she's like, yeah, well, Olivia Olivia would have told me about the 70%. And I'm just like, or she's feeding into your delusion, and like, this is the narrative that you're running with on the show, and she's supporting your narrative because like maybe that's what you told her, being like, hey, like whatever I'm saying, just agree with it, please. Because Olivia's a bit of a game player, right? So you don't know her, but
no, I don't know. I'm gonna take your word for it. I don't know why she said it.
She knows.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She's like one of the OGs, getting a lot of fame from the show. Like, I think she knows the show. You know what I mean?
Okay. So because I was sitting there like that, that's not the case on the outside, and you're just making it look like Josh is being suspect for no reason, and I don't understand why.
She ate.
He really did.
And Josh, like, is so unbothered. It's so attractive. Like, Josh went up in his attractive meter with how he's handling Georgia. Like, the fact that, like, he's pulling her for to try to squash it, but, like, he still stands his ground. You're just like, like, knowing Josh, that man don't care what Olivia Atwood thinks. No, just
probably not.
We started to do that to Kaz and Casey too. Oh, just not letting them speak? Yeah.
Yes.
So irritating.
Yes. That is her MO.
So Molly and Callum have their little chat, and they discuss the people's perception, and they ended up saying that they're happy for each other, which they've said many times before, and they shake hands. They are cute together, but I think that they're over it, at least for now. Georgia Harrison and Georgia Steele chat, and they talk about, this is where they actually do like the exclusive thing. So sorry, I messed up when it happened. I was like, I thought I wrote it down. It was actually here. So Georgia Harrison and Georgia Steele were talking, and explaining the exclusivity, and she thinks that word makes her cringe, but they're locked off. And that's when he asks, babe, are we locked off? No, we're exclusive. So cringe. That's all. That whole thing was cringe. And then she does say that at the end, though, I am your girlfriend. She's probably just like, oh my God, I just have to say it once. It's just to win the show. So they're all getting ready for bed, and Josh, I thought this was so funny, giving the demo on how Tom likes to kiss Molly. Would be like, I was like, I'm just laughing. But the rest season there, so fun.
Yeah.
Kay here says that Josh is definitely the short king of Love Island All Stars. How tall is he? I wonder, like 5'9", you think? I wonder. I don't know.
Maybe 5'10".
In the morning, Georgia Harrison says that she dreamt of a baby and it's new beginnings. Now, I do dream analysis. Like, I'm not mocking all these things. But with her, I kind of know my audience usually, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't bring some of the things that I've experienced up because I know that a lot of people don't either believe in it or makes it them uncomfortable or is put off. And so I kind of choose who I would be sharing these things to. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it's the right audience, like talking about dreams and dreaming out.
James. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with her history, I mean, I think if I
Yeah.
end up saying it, like, I don't think it would be perceived as the same way as her, but
You got to know your audience with stuff like that. I mean, even if you know it, you feel it, you've been through it, it doesn't, some people just don't take to it. So,
absolutely, like, it puts them off for sure.
yeah.
Maybe do they mean new beginnings, or it could be like learning something new, having a new perspective,
Mhm.
taking a leap of faith into a new direction. So yeah, it could be maybe could mean that. Everyone is talking about the Molly and Callum situation. I'm just like, this is not a situation. Can we please stop talking about it?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. He's not really short. He just looks short because Tom and Tyler.
that's what I was saying. I was like, I think I'm judging him by
The
oh,
Tom
Tyler being so tall that I'm like maybe he's like 5'10". Like I don't think he's that short. But yeah.
Okay, so that's also to the point where Anton may have broke. The girl took the piss one too many times and in
I'm
front of
telling
everyone.
you. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'm telling you.
So Georgia Harrison says that she's not going to have a friendship with Josh further than the villa. It's
Yeah.
like
Good. Peace.
he's like, phew.
I hope he sees that and he doesn't talk to her anymore.
He probably won't though. I don't think she will probably come begging him to
Yeah.
take her back.
She will watch the show, or somebody who is a truth teller in her life will come and be like, you know that Josh wasn't lying.
Well, she knows that Josh wasn't lying because she doesn't like Anton.
Right. Right.
So Callum and Tom do have a conversation. And Molly had urged Callum to go and pull Tom for a chat. And so like she was happy that he did.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he did too, because him and Tom were good, but like with all this new information, like he just like reiterating like nothing's going on behind your back.
Yeah. That's what pissed me off. I think the worst about what Georgia and Arabella did is it wasn't even just like giving a heads up and making Tom aware that the public, like what Jess got. It was, oh, so something must be going on. Yeah, something got to be going on. No, like so you again are not friends with these people if you are insisting that something is going on. But no, that's because that's y'all playbook. That's what y'all like to do. Go behind people's back and do stuff and steal their man and blah 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 and be fake and phony to them in their face, and then don't cop up to it. Don't admit to what you did and act like it was on them. That's not what's happened here. It's not what happened here.
Not at all. So everyone's getting ready for the night. Georgia is cleansing her aura, of course. I do this myself, but like when she does it, it just is an eye roll for me. Molly and Callum have a conversation, and she says that she's like getting there with Tom, and that she's really happy that he talked to Tom, and like she really appreciated it, and like they are very cordial, and I like them together as friends.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anton and Georgia Harrison. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
They were kissing, and it was loudly kissing Anton. I don't know how he kisses that loud, but I think that Georgia just doesn't want anybody to be watching them kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that that's why she doesn't want it to be like these loud kisses, like because she just doesn't want any focus on them kissing because she doesn't want to be doing it, and it's embarrassing to her. And so she's like, oh my God, you're kissing so loudly. Yeah. And he says, as a half joke, but I think he was truthful.
He was serious. Yeah.
Well, why don't you go kiss someone else?
Yeah.
And
I think this is about the second or third time she's interrupted his kisses.
Because she doesn't want to kiss him.
Right. And so there's about as much as you can take with this. Like, so yeah, I think he was being passive aggressive, because we realized that nice guy act is just an act. And I think that he, like we said, he realized about a week ago that you don't.
And so she does say, like, oh, well, sometimes some of the things that you say are offensive. And then they get into some weird fight. And she's like going to go back inside, but he doesn't want to go inside with her. So when she goes inside, she says, oh, yeah, he's just like grumpy. And he's moody because you're playing a game with him.
Yeah.
And he knows that you are, but you keep on telling him that you're not. And so he's trying to take your word for it, but he knows the truth.
But like, at least play along. Play along. And he's saying to the guys, well, I don't know if it was this episode or the next episode because this carried on, but he says to the guys, she knows that physical touch is my thing and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care what's your thing. She doesn't care about you. And,
I want you to touch her.
She doesn't want you to touch her.
Ick. Molly and Tom talk again, of course, now that like everybody's talked about this situation ad nauseum. She tells him, I really like you. I want something serious with you. I can see something outside of this villa with you. I am very happy. And so he finally like hears it from her, and it seems like he's okay with the situation now. So then we get a text. It's for the Hideaway. Which couple do you think deserve the Hideaway?
In all intensive purposes, the couple that should have went to this Hideaway was Molly and Tom.
That would have made the most sense because they had this whole thing coming around and have like the audience giving information that like maybe there's something going on. But yes, it would have been nice for them to be rewarded with some alone time so that they can like, re-solidify their relationship and just like get rid of any of those naysayers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be Sophie and Josh because have they got a date? They didn't get a date, I don't think.
Don't think so.
They didn't get a date. They didn't get a Hideaway.
Mm-mm.
Like even Arabella's had a date with Chris. As Georgia,
but I didn't hear anybody throw their name out. It was literally
and, like, they've been the most solid for the longest.
Yes.
Maybe. Well, Tom and Molly, I don't know. They've been have a little bit of wiggle with the Georgia of it all.
Yeah, I mean, Callum went to the Hideaway with
Georgia.
Yeah, so I didn't even think about it, Josh and Sophie. But
oh, interesting. Do we think that some Islanders had no Hideaway in their contracts? Maybe.
That's what I'm wondering because there were certain people who just like avoided the Hideaway. Like they weren't even in a topic of conversation. I don't think because like Toby is really good friends with Josh, right? No. Callum is really good friends with Josh. I think he would have told her. I mean, I think he would have put him in it.
So Katie thinks that none of the other couples really wanted it outside of maybe Tom. I just think, though, that it would have been helpful for Sophie and Josh's perception just to see them be in a couple and just like, hanging out. Like we don't get to see very much of their relationship. And so it would have been nice to have a little bit of a focus on them, considering they've been together for at least one of the first two or the two longest couples, you know what I mean? It would have been nice to see them a little bit more. I wanted to see their alone time a bit.
Yeah.
Molly didn't want it. Sophie probably a no, and Toby and Georgia give the vibe that they weren't interested at all.
Yeah.
But Arabella and Adam got it. Okay. Flex is ready to go because that's his wrestling name, and he wore these little shorts that were very small, and he carries her over to the Hideaway. In the Hideaway, we see Adam posing for Arabella, not sexy at all. To me, he was trying not to make her too sexy. You know what I mean?
I barely watch this Hideaway. I'm going to tell you the truth. I would kept
practicing wrestling each other, move on each other, or
yeah,
him
it
on
just
her. It was I didn't I was watching it like this, like
it was so cringy. So cringy.
like yeah. So yes, he's never made it to a hideaway in his season before. And then obviously Arabella wants to take it to the bedroom or to the sexual of things. So she's like, that bed looks so appetizing. I was like, okay, we get it. Like you're sexual. The older you get, the hornier you get. We get it, Arabella. But like I just need more. I'm not interested in people that just are only sexual. I think it's really boring. Adam does give her a massage, and the main villa is sleeping. And what? Oh, so okay. So Anton was trying to speak to Georgia a little bit, and so she doesn't want him to speak right now. She's like, "We're just going to talk about it in the morning." So then Anton decides to leave. He says, "Fuck this," and goes and sleeps downstairs or wherever the other beds are. And I was like, "This is the real Anton."
Yep. Yep. This is the Anton that some of us was like, I think we're not seeing the real Anton. This is the real Anton.
Mm-hmm. All right, now yesterday's episode begins in the morning. Anton returns to the main villa room. Adam carries Arabella back into the main room. Georgia Harrison and Anton do have a conversation, and I think when he went to sleep in that other bed, he's like, okay, how am I going to go and repair this and like take all the blame for this whole thing? Because he's like, it's nothing on you. It's my responsibility. It was all me. It was my fault. Like I was feeling a type of way. And George is saying, like, I feel like I'm not good enough, and what I do is not good enough for you. And I'm just like, man, like you guys' relationship, I do not want to ever be in a relationship like this.
It's like, where did that come from? All of a sudden, she's not good enough for him?
Well, I think it's the hot and cold thing, the hot and cold comment that she doesn't want to be all touchy-feely with him because she's not into him. And so she's spinning it to be like she feels like how she is as a person isn't good enough for him because she's not reciprocating his advances, you know?
Y'all need to come up with a storyline and stick to it.
Wait. Yes, here says, seems like the producers thought that their Hideaway would trend on social with the whole flex character thing. And also, he wasn't a former stripper, wasn't he? I thought he was. Oh, was it? Is that a question? But it didn't work and just ended up being cringe and awkward. Yeah, it was real cringe.
So cringy.
Yeah, nice.
I can see that. I can see that they strategically made it so the most sexual couple got the Hideaway so that they could have good Hideaway. Good Hideaway footage, and that it didn't.
I mean, it's the thing is though she only leads with one thing, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna catch anybody that's what they want.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately that's how she's going to be perceived by a lot of people is because that's what she leads with.
That's all she's going to get, and it's unfortunate if there's a different personality to her, which I've never seen. She we're not getting it, and it's not going to, like, again, I don't see a guy being serious enough to be like, oh, I'm going to
break down these walls and like who she really is. It's like, no, like I'm already getting what I want from her, and I haven't seen anything. She hasn't shown me anything else to care about. So
no.
And like I know it probably to a certain extent it hurts her feelings because like feeling like you're only good for one thing doesn't feel great, absolutely. But you also have to show other parts of you for the people to be interested in that, you know?
Well, I mean, that's why she probably was saying, "Oh, why always me? Why always me?" And I kept saying, "What do you mean? Like one person dumped you? I'm so confused." And then, but yeah, it's probably because of what's going on the outside.
Mm-hmm. That's how Chris got turned off so fast. Yeah, because she just didn't really take the serious connection seriously enough. And Yeah. Once you get past the lust, what else is there?
What?
I don't even know. Because she's not even a good friend, it seems, right?
Jesus God.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, what does she like to do? Play fight. That's all I know. Okay, so do you want to talk any more about Georgia Harrison and Anton's little fight?
I was so over them by this point that really at the end of the episode when we were getting the voting, I was just like, please just put us all out of our misery. And I can't stand Arabella, but just put us all out of our misery.
No, well, Arabella, she didn't tap out. Like, I mean, I don't even care if they slept together, but like, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm too old now. But like, I
I keep saying I wonder if I'm just old for some of this stuff, but I don't feel like I'm
just so it's just so boring leading with your sexuality. But I guess that's your 20s, right?
I didn't, but I was also married.
You're
26,
married.
so
Well, in
I
your
don't know.
20s, you learn that you can get any guy you want through being sexual, right?
Yeah, this
But
is
not
true.
necessarily lock them down, but you can have a sexual experience with them.
It gets old.
Yeah,
Fast.
very. Georgia Harrison tells the girls about her and Anton are fine now, and Anton tells the boys that like we figured things out, we're good, nobody cares.
No.
Molly tells the girls about opening up to Tom, and Tom tells the boys that she sees something in them and their relationship outside the villa, so he's also happy. Anton and Toby talk, and it really annoys me when Anton talks about like he makes excuses for their couple. So he's like, well, maybe we're just the couple that bickers. Maybe we just bicker. And it's like, really? That's what you want to be? You want to be the couple that bickers?
Yeah, because that's not going to stop.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. But like, nobody likes the couple that bickers, and the couple that bickers don't even like each other.
The couple that bickers and stay together usually bicker and then have sex.
That's true, actually. Yeah, it's a different kind of bickering couple. It's like they love like the makeup sex.
And they work.
Like, what do they love? What do they get out of this?
I don't.
Wait, what was this about? Now we watched the other season. It's her. Who were we talking about?
Oh, maybe Arabella.
Probably. Arabella and Jess are talking, and Arabella is just like, oh my god, like Adam, he's just like the male version of me. Like we're just like, well, maybe the male version because he's only leading with sex with her.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're meeting each other where they're at.
It's been drier than the Sahara Desert for Anton. I know. Oh my god, like he's so like a virgin that like just like, oh my god, I finally got the hot girl. Like I don't think she's hot, but like, you know, oh my god, like he's just so sprung, and it's so he's clouding his judgment, I think.
Yeah.
Anton says, so they're talking about like their mom, if their mom likes their person. And so Anton says, like, if my mom doesn't like her, then it's done.
But you see how it moved for yesterday? We're boyfriend and girlfriend to now if my mom doesn't like her. Meaning my mom has watched this show. If my mom doesn't like how you've really been treating me, we're not going.
I mean, it's going to be done for sure. And maybe this is him giving an excuse as to why it's not going to work on the outside world.
Yep. Because I'm telling you, really, I think he's gotten. I think the nail is on the coffin. He understands now. She does not like me, but we have to stick through this to get through the show.
But everybody's talking about how happy they are in their couple, and the boys are talking about this with the boys, and all the girls are talking about this together, and like everybody's just like so glowing and happy in their couple. But then we see the dumped Islanders returning. They get a text, and whoever gets the most votes is going to be dumped immediately. So
this was the part where it's like, oh, so now they're biting off a Love Island game.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't mind the Vim for anybody. I was like, get him. So Mitch is up first. He's pretty mad, but he's talking about like the people that he thinks are the most game players. And he's like, Georgia Harrison and Anton. I was like, Mitch is calling you a game player? Mitch?
Correct. Mitch? Why does Mitch see? I hate people that make me have to agree with Mitch.
Kay said, Anton might as well say goodbye. No way his mom is about to be giving her blessing. Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah, exactly. He has an out. My mom doesn't like you. Yeah, no, I'm with Mitch here. I was like, game players. Georgia.
Don't make me agree with Mitch. He ate with that one, for real. Like, the entire speech, I was like, damn. But correct.
And especially when he's talking, like, there's nobody else he could be talking about. I was like,
it's like, they know it's him. They know it's them that he's talking about, right?
Yep. Demi's next, and she feels that some other people have had deeper journeys. She chooses Arabella and Adam. Chris, I'm like, who's Chris again? I'm like,
Arabella was so pissed about Demi.
Who was?
Arabella.
Oh, yeah, well. Oh, well. Chris chooses Georgia Harrison and Anton. Which is also interesting because, like, you think
everybody on Twitter swore he was going to choose Arabella and Adam. Swore he was going to choose Arabella and Adam, but he watched the show.
Mm-hmm. And Arabella and Adam, as much as like I don't care for them, they do have more chemistry or something. There's more going on. They like each other at least a little bit more than Anton and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz is questioning their connection. Georgia Harrison and Anton.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Kaz.
And again, she could have chose Arabella and Adam, but she was like,
well, I mean, I think that she just didn't probably care for either of them.
Yes.
Because like at that point when he was saving her or whatever, were they in a couple at that point? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
He was with Hannah, I think, at that time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure. Anyway, they weren't like locked in. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. Like they weren't exclusive. So yeah, the fact that Kaz is like, Lewis says this is one-sided. Molly and Tom, where did that come? Was he just vexed that like Molly didn't choose him?
I was so pissed. I said, what producer told Lewis to do this? Because what is he on about? What is he talking about? Some people are like, oh, Lewis speaking for the public. I was like, yeah, what producer told him to do that? Because that was
no problem. No possibility. Like that was just like he just looked dumb. He looked foolish.
To me, he did.
Yeah. Well, he's the only person that voted for them. So like, what did he think that everybody else was voting for them? Like, what was the purpose of that? Liberty says it's they think that they'll last the doesn't think that they'll last the longest, which is Arabella and Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that she had chosen Anton and what's his name? Georgia. Dabu, I am with you. I wanted Josh vindicated so badly with this vote as well. Yes, these people had one job. And I was like, just let's get them out right now. Like I was like praying for it. I was like, please. And then like when Liberty said that, I'm like, no, don't do Arabella. Like no loyalty here, Liberty. Like be truthful. And Arabella was like clapping back every single time that people were saying like that their relationship. Be like, well, like if we were here from the beginning, like we would have been locked in. We would have been boyfriend girlfriend. Like it's
like, girl, he just came in. You know how this show works. Eat it.
Bad. Like it sucks that you guys didn't meet sooner, but like, just take it on the chin.
Just take it. But she was saying on the Morning After podcast that the ones that hurt the most was Liberty and Demi because they're her closest friends. She was saying.
Kay says, nah, Lewis was trying to have a moment and gain some clout off their popularity. Maybe.
Really. Something, because that was the most ridiculous.
Tyler says better suited. There are other people that are better suited and more compatible. So he chooses Georgia Harrison and Anton.
I was dying laughing. I was like, yes, Tyler and Kaz on the same page. We love to see it. We love to see it.
Because they probably watched back all like the Anton stuff, right? And she's been like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, like I thought we were friends."
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, it's like I don't like Arabella, but she and Big Flex have at least have some real chemistry. They're giving equal energy. Yes, it's true. It's true.
This is it. They're meeting each other where they're at. Not my favorite of couples or connection, but I think there is a connection. Big Flex is killing.
Hannah says Arabella and Adam because she just loves Anton.
Oh wait, or was it Hannah and Demi? It was Hannah and Demi. Sorry. She's like, oh, those are my best friends, and we have really close friendships. Inside and out the villa. I said, this is not Friendship Island,
Well, and then
Arabella.
Joanna, right? Joanna also. So Joanna just hasn't seen enough for them, which is logical, and so
Yeah.
she also chooses Arabella and Adam. What's Jake talking about though? Didn't agree with Georgia Steele and Toby.
Another one who, I'm sure he didn't watch one iota of the fucking show, and B, the
Like, aren't they
producer.
from the same season? Why wouldn't they?
Yes.
Well,
That's why
Toby, anyways.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how much friendship. Toby, I think, was closer to like a Tyler and Kaz and them.
Sure,
Yeah,
but like,
but I absolutely think the producer told Jake to. Jake said when he came off the show, they asked him if he was going to watch the show, and he said, "Well, I don't really watch the show." I'm telling you right now. He probably had the most awesome clips and voted for Toby and Georgia 8. I mean Georgia S.
maybe.
I don't think he watched the show. Some producers said,
or like maybe he watched a bit of it, and like
yeah.
I would also think that they're not really
Yeah.
suited.
So some producer is like, well, like we gotta bring Jake back. But like, Jake, have you been watching the show? Oh yes, and I would vote for Toby and Georgia. Perfect. Come back.
Casey doesn't think that they can last. Georgia H and Anton. I'm like, all the people that I think it matters.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For, like impact.
Yes.
At least voted correctly.
Correctly.
And then Eve, I was like, Eve, like, couldn't you, like, your sister should have done some mental telepathy there for you and just been like, but she probably had her vote locked in before she went up there, so she probably had to.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But it's 5-5 right now, and so the deciding vote is going to be Joe,
Right.
and he does not like Arabella, so he's just like Arabella and Adam out of here.
I just think it was very unfair the way I was dumped, and this bitch moved on.
Yep, and just doesn't feel like they're as strong as the rest, and so he chose them, and so Arabella and Adam are out of the villa, and I was like, I just don't want them to be Anton and Georgia Harrison to be in the final. So
that was my exact tweet. I was like, listen, as long as Georgia Harrison and Anton don't win, I'll have to take this because it's not like I like to have Adam that much either. But still, one job. Georgia 8, they should not have even been. We should not have even seen them today. But then again, we probably would have had to seen Arabella and Adam. So I don't know. It's a toss up.
Kate says totally cop out on their lack of time bid. The question was about their connection, and majority of these Islanders failed the mission.
Failed.
So everybody's obviously hugging Arabella. She calling herself Mr. and Mrs. Flex. And he says leaving the villa with this sexy woman. And I was like, see, it's only about sex, and it's annoying. But
and the day that you don't want to provide that, what happens? I said the same thing, Danita. They should have dumped two couples. It should have been a two-couple dump.
That would have been so like a surprise, being like, actually, Islanders, it's a double dumping.
So they're tied. Bye.
Yeah, the two couples that got the most votes are both dumped. Boom.
Yeah, That's what I wanted. I don't know why.
Oh, they don't need to go to the finale with five couples. Like, who cares? They do have a mini after sun. Adam thinks that they have a better connection than Anton and Georgia Harrison. We do too. Don't worry, Adam. They do. Then they relive Arabella's journey. She didn't have a great time in there, absolutely, but we've already kind of. She doesn't show her true self. She just shows her sexuality, and that's just doesn't work when you're trying to find a little relationship in a short amount of time. It just doesn't work. It's just you need more substance. Unfortunately. Sorry, Arabella. I'm sure that you do have more substance, but you don't present that often. So back to the villa. Everybody's getting ready for the night. Georgia Harrison, Anton, and Georgia Steele and Toby are talking and talk about how they questioned a lot. And Georgia Steele saying, like, well, you're not going to really agree on everything. And so they're both, I guess, like trying to make themselves feel better about the fact that like they argue.
You don't have to agree about everything, but it's also the way you argue.
Yeah.
It is also, but I know that's indicative of you not caring for each other. Again, there's a care that you have when you try to argue with somebody and you care about them. Because I have been in a relationship where I care about the person and I'm even in an argument, and I've been in a relationship where at that point I did not care about them, so I didn't give a fuck what I said to them.
100%. But Anton now is very confident about their relationship, and he just thinks it's really unfair about how like Georgia is being perceived and that she's taking. And it was like, do you know what it says to me? It just says to me that Anton is an intelligent person. He's not. Yeah. Because like he's just always rationalizing everything, and I'm just like, can you just put these pieces together? Like I would be so on board with Anton if he's like, listen, I've tried to make this work. I don't think that you like me, and I'm sick of you pretending like you do, and you're gaslighting me here. Like, can we cut the bullshit? I'd be like, oh, Anton, maybe. I mean, maybe, but more likely to than with how he's acting now. Toby and Georgia Steele are really happy with where they are, of course. Molly, of course, is annoyed what he said to her and Tom, which she should be, because like it made no sense whatsoever. Was he trying to get with Molly in the beginning? Probably.
Wait, who?
Lewis.
No. Wait. Yeah.
And then Chris went in.
That feels like so long ago.
I know, it was like a month.
No, it was he wanted Georgia H. He wanted Georgia H, Demi, and Cass. Yeah. But Chris wanted Molly.
Yeah, no, I remember Chris for sure. I remember they stared at each other's eyes. I'm just wondering why he said that, and so is Molly. Like, just like, why is he bothering me? Georgia, Harrison, and Josh have another conversation, and she finally says to him, like, there were a lot of people that had that opinion. I'm sorry for shooting the messenger. I don't really want to fall out with you. I wish he'd just been like, I told you so.
For real. It was I want to save our friendship. I was like, now she wants to save the friendship.
Yeah, because she's realizing that she's going to look like a dickhead.
And did.
But like, she's trying to save face here.
Yep.
Toby apparently is growing out his beard. I couldn't tell. Poor guy. I've got a text, and it's because the Love Island All-Stars final is upon them. Everybody's jumping in the pool. They always do this pool jump when they get that final text. And they're chanting All-Stars. I thought it was cute, though. I like the jumping in the pool moment. It's celebratory, and I like it. All right, we have the final to talk about. We're just going to talk about
I just wish there was one couple not in there, but go ahead.
One couple didn't get in there?
I wish there was one couple not jumping in there, which is
I know. I didn't even look at them. Like, So the final starts and it looks like a movie, and Maya Jama enters, and like they're all kind of hanging out in the villa in like as if it's like a club.
Mhm.
And so then Maya's talking to all the couples and asking Georgia Harrison if she manifested the final, and she's like, "No, I think we manifested each other." It's like the vote's done, guys.
No, it wasn't though. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's true. You're right.
Yeah, I will at least give her that. She did have a couple more hours.
That's true. I even forgot. So they did a vote last night, and then they did another vote at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
She asked Toby and Georgia Steele if they're happy with their decision. They obviously say yes, like, you know, it was a big risk that they had to take, but they're happy that they did it.
Mhm.
Talking to Jess and Callum, and she learns that they're both really unexpected what's gone on between them, but they're really both happy about it. Asking Molly and Tom how they feel, and they're both really happy to make it to the final. And she asks Sophie and Josh if they have anything to say to the public, and they say thank you. So we see some final moments, and then we're going to get a special guest. So I guess this was probably back in the past, and so they're probably watching this because it's a live taping, I believe. Because it's going to be a VIP All-Star pool party, and Ella Henderson. I don't know who that is. Did you? I knew that one song.
No, because when I got the press release this morning, it was like Ella Henderson. I was like, Ella? And I was like, that's not the same Ella.
Because the way we had zero couples to really root for. I was rooting for Sophie and Josh.
I was rooting for Sophie and Josh. I really like Sophie and Josh. I was rooting for them.
I really like. I was like, whenever I see them together, I actually am looking to see like, oh, I want to see like their chemistry and like their vibe. You know what I mean? So I'm into that couple. I hope that they are successful outside the villa.
Yeah,
Kay
I
says,
was rooting for them.
honestly, the way that I had a mix of discomfort and secondhand embarrassment with Anton and Georgia Harrison, no couple has cringed me out more. We've had friggin' doozies on this show. Yeah, no, I can't watch anything between them. Like, there was one time when they were kissing, and like he tried to kiss her nose, and like, do you think all these like cutesy, playful things when I know that she wants to barf? Like, it's just like I can't do it. Can't watch it. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Kate says sounds like she smelled the live show and returned to the real world approaching. Yeah. She's like okay, so at the party, was that the party or I'm not sure. Jess and Callum says a massive green flag, a few dates on the card. I can't remember. I guess they're just talking about their life outside the villa. Molly and Tom are talking, and she's going to see if Nellie likes you and then introduce him to her family. Toby and Georgia wouldn't change their experience for the world. And then Georgia Harrison and Anton, she is scared to meet his mom, of course, because his mom's going to be truth-telling.
She better be. She better be.
Sophie and Josh talk about how they found a connection and can't wait for the outside. And I believe them. I believe that they're going to try.
Yeah, I believe they're going to try too.
Maya talks to Mitch and asks him who has been the messiest since he left the villa. He correctly states Georgia Steele. I'm like, 2 correct answers for Mitch.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, only a little. Only she kind of took where I left off.
I think Hannah talked about her outfit. Like, I really wasn't paying attention to this final very well. Like, I was just taking like very brief notes. I have like,
yeah, I think she did talk about her outfit, and I mean,
Liberty and Kaz talk together about Kaz getting DMs, and Liberty's DMs are dry as the Sahara.
Oh my god, poor Lib.
Kaz is getting some people sliding in there. Like,
well, I mean, she made it clear that there were men that she was looking for that the show obviously did not put on. That being said, Tyler and her have done a couple of TikToks today.
Okay.
So,
I mean, if you like it, I love it. So go for it, Kaz.
Yeah. So I think Kaz.
Who? Oh, is that some? I don't know who that is. Oh, L. Henderson. Got it.
I think Kaz has many options, as she should, and they should have brought that shit into the show, but we're not going to go.
Lewis and Demi are still talking. Okay, what do you think is the state of their relationship?
I'm telling you, I how many times did I say it? I think that she's a game player. I think that that they will stay together for like a while because I think she thinks that they are. I can't. Yeah, like that they'll be an it couple. Demi to
I'm not a
me,
fan. Sorry,
just not a fan.
me
She
neither.
just is not it.
So then they did a recap of the season. I didn't pay attention to. I'm sorry. Maya talks to Joanna and Chris. They are still talking to each other and doing some, Oh, Simon tried to make her the next Adele? No. No. Her song, I had heard that song, but like Adele has the it factor. This girl.
Adele was on
No.
X Factor.
I think probably just the way that she was.
Oh.
Like that, maybe she's a bit bigger of a model, and maybe she's an also like the same voice kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I guess, but no, I
Yes,
don't believe that Adele was from a show.
yeah.
Okay, so we learned that in 5th place is Georgia Harrison and Anton. Okay, yes, good.
I was like, yes, okay, we're on the right track, people.
Yeah, I know. I was very excited.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so they asked, like, she asked her, how do you get over the ick? And like, it's because we end up getting to know each other. And I'm like, the more that you got to know him, the more the ick increased. But whatever, Georgia, we're done with this storyline now. Yay!
Yeah.
So then we have a recap of their relationship. Didn't really pay attention to it.
No.
Except for when he fell in the pool. They showed that again. And I was like,
Yeah.
Then in 4th place, I texted you with this one. I was like, whoa. I did not I thought that they were going to be in the top 3. But Georgia Steele and Toby are in 4th.
I knew they weren't going to get pushed up. I knew it.
I thought that they came back together because they knew that they were going to have the votes or something like that.
Yeah, I think they thought they did because remember in the beginning they got the public put them together. They were coming off of Love Island games. It was a misconnection, blah blah blah. But Georgia, I think Georgia was thinking she was the Ekin-Su. She can make all those messy moves and try everything out, and then he made her come back to him, and no,
it was not a safe season for diversity at all because they don't care.
They don't care.
It's not part of their checklist on like how to create a really good show that really inspires or entertains all sorts of people, and they don't make it for us. They're making it for 500. So Georgia Steele is obviously buzzing because she met this guy and she's so excited. They replay his recoupling with Georgia Steele, that moment where he made that big gesture, and they're locked in. And now the next step is going to be meeting each other's family. So we get their full journey, their full recap of their love story, if that's what you want to call it. Then in 3rd place, these mother effers put Sophie and Josh. I gasped. I thought they would at least be in the final 2.
Yeah, me too.
Or the fact that they're just like, I feel like they've been so good. And I was like, I feel like she stands up for him. Like they have their like late night conversations. Like they seem to really like each other. Her family has been like, oh my God, like I wasn't sure in the beginning, but now I see it. Like, what else can they really do?
I think they took a beating, even though Josh did not engage as much about it. They took a beating with the Georgia stuff and the Joanna stuff. Like, some people, you have to be near perfect for these people too.
Well, and also a lot of people were saying that he's racist, and I'm like, I haven't necessarily seen that. I don't know what he's done outside the villa to make people say that, and so maybe they just don't want her to be with him because they have that belief about him.
Yeah, I mean, that was how they were going with Casey and Kaz, so I can see that. I didn't see those comments. I'm shocked, actually. I haven't seen that on Twitter. I'm shocked they did
It
this.
might have been in a comment on a video.
Yeah.
And so if some people have that thought that they're not gonna like, even though they would be like, they don't realize that they're also not supporting the black person. like
I mean, for some people, it doesn't matter. If you're a black person with a racist, it doesn't matter, which I fair. I haven't seen those comments, so I'm not seeing those comments prior to this, which is so I'm just like, wow, okay.
So I wonder if that's where you lost some votes as well, from people maybe deciding to have that narrative about him because maybe he's never dated a person of color before, and so they're just like attributing that, like, him
That's
like
also
actually
possible.
not liking her,
Yep.
which is possible, and it's also possible that he doesn't like her. But from what we've seen, it looks like he's willing to give it a go. And I wish that they were judging it on that, regardless of his past. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like how he is with her now is very different than the Josh that came into the villa.
Than that Josh that came into the villa. Yeah, I agree.
I was really, really upset. And they do talk about how they were able to get over the situation with Joanna because they were open. They talked about it. He apologized. He's made her feel safe and feel secure about it. And so they were just pretty honest about the situation, and she's pretty honest too. And I think that the fact that she puts her foot down and says that, like, okay, I'm not going to stand for this. Like, I'm out. And like, he's like, oh wait, I don't actually want you to go. And so I think that, I think I said this yesterday, but Liberty needs to take a page out of her book. And
Yes.
like, if you put your foot down, keep it down until
Yes.
they do something to prove to you that you need to lift your foot up.
I recently had to come to that conclusion.
He's had mixed girlfriends in the past. Okay, I'm even better.
I don't even know them. I just don't even know.
That's
I personally think they're real. I personally think they're real, and I like literally could care less about Josh from in the beginning. So I don't know.
It's true. Kate says Josh gives lad vibes that the producers really didn't show them as a couple once Joanna's sitch was resolved. It's true.
True.
Really,
Other than his fighting with Georgia, they really didn't show them as a couple. No dates, nothing.
Nah, Sophie gets support from her brethren. I think Sophie, it's just not enough.
It's just not enough.
Not
I mean, if they're saying
a lot of people, and then like, there's a lot, like a really big subsection of black people that do not like swirling. You know what I mean? So, like,
if they're saying that what the black delegation of it is 2%, 3% or whatever of the population, isn't that what they might have gotten? That's what the poll showed, right? So yeah, might not have been enough. Because I saw on Instagram a lot of, I did see the day prior about her bullying Georgia H, but I saw a lot of
when did that happen? Because like I don't remember even seeing any bullying, and I didn't write any bullying or like any.
It was the day of the phone calls.
Oh, when she said, what'd she say? When she said she's tired about it, like it's like the last time she was
like it's dead. Yeah. And then
I'm over speaking about it. I thought it was done. Yeah. That's bullying.
Yeah. And then the day of yesterday, day after they didn't get Georgia H and Anton didn't go. All I saw on Instagram and on Twitter were Callum and Jess, Sophie and Josh.
So, he knows that Sophie has his back, and so like they're pretty good. They're pretty excited with what's going to happen in the outside world. And yes, Kay says Josh and Sophie seem equally yoked. Their energies match, and Sophie isn't a pushover. And I think he likes that.
And I was going to say, I think that's what he likes about her. Yep.
Because like Georgia Harrison is so beggy, and Sophie's not beggy. She's not begging for him to be with her. Like, she has a vibe that I would be more attracted to,
Yeah, true.
Personally, anyways, I mean, if you like Georgia Harrison, you like what you like. So they have a couple recap, and I was like, oh my god, it was so good. I was like, I love them.
They had a good journey. They had to me, they had the right journey for Love Island, especially in 5 weeks. Considering they had the right journey, and I just, and he's the one who deaded it too, like with the Joanna stuff. Like, I don't know.
He says if we're being honest, statistically here isn't enough Black watchers of Love Island to tip the scales. They have to have support from non-Black audience. The producers know how to steer the audience. Yeah, 100%.
I was gonna say, I think it's less about there's not enough Black watchers. It's you need the white vote, but what they do is do this. The reason why Whitney didn't win is because they sat there and showed that fight between her and Ella, and the reason why Ella and Ty didn't win is because they showed that fight between Ty and Ella, and that once you do that, that erodes the white vote. Now, I'm not talking about the Black vote, because there are Black people who will vote for the Black people no matter what all the time. I am one of them. I am talking about the white vote that you do need in order to push this up. You showing these things will make sure to erode the little bit of white people that you do have, and so you lose. And then people will be like afterwards, oh, I love Whitney and I love Ella and I don't know why they didn't win. But it's because the narrative that was pushed by producers, because they didn't want them to win
at all. And like those two are such, like, they're both still in their couples, and it's been like 9 months. That's impressive.
And I mean, if you watch them, they are both very, very happy. They're both very happy. I love Locken and Whitney together. Ty and Ella, they, I'm not a big Aries Taurus person, but they seem to be making it work. I mean, they're young.
Yeah, it can make me work for a couple years, and then maybe it won't work. But it worked for long enough for it to be a success, in my opinion.
Correct. And so I still can't figure out if Molly and Psychopath is together. I don't mean to call him Psychopath, but I can't remember his name right now.
I'm like, I don't even know which Molly is this.
Molly, I'm going.
Oh, Zach.
I some parts it's like, oh yeah, they're still together. Some I don't know. People seem to always throwing out rumors about them, but I mean, the winners deaded after like 2 months. So,
yeah, Molly and Zach are still together. We're trying to sing. I'm looking for a friend.
There's some people I absolutely will not pay attention to, and Zach and Molly are one of them.
Yeah. They work now, and that's a success. Molly Marsh. But like we talked about it before, though, right? That the fact that like he's doing TikToks with her, I was like, oh man, he lost all of his street cred. Like he's, yeah, like remember on Big Brother how they have the Wax Street Boys? Like that's what's happened to him.
Oh my god.
Looking for a friend. For you. So Callum doesn't regret choosing Molly. Callum. Wait, sorry. Oh yeah, they're doing the final.
Final two, yeah.
So yeah, doesn't regret choosing Molly in the beginning. He felt that was the best thing for him to do, and he really likes his journey and like where he is right now with Jess. So they show his best bits, of course, and then they show Molly and Tom's best bits. And then they get all their family messages. I didn't really write down anything about their family messages. But Tom's brother or sister is really beautiful. And Molly's brother was also, I was like, he looked like he could be somebody that would go on Love Island. He's like handsome, but with like tattoos. And like, I'm like, I could totally see her brother on Love Island. But Tom's sister was quite pretty. And they look kind of alike. It was just very interesting. And so I also wondered, why are Tom's friends so old? Some of them were quite old. Was one of them actually a celebrity or something that we just don't know because they're from the UK? Because like his friends were all like, he's like, what, 24? His friends all had like gray hair and looked like they're at least.
He's an ex-football player.
Okay, so maybe it's like a coach or something.
So maybe, yeah, maybe it's
a player.
Yeah. People he's played with or in the club or whatever it is, yeah.
So that's basically all that I wrote down, because then they announced that the winner of Love Island All-Stars Season 1 is Molly and Tom. And I was like, I couldn't even get, like, out of the final two, the winner that I want.
I know. It was, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. I'll see how I feel in a few months of after the season, but I feel all around it was just a miss. It was a swing and a miss, a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Well, I'm happy that I watched it, because it still hits as, like, entertaining enough. You know, we had a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
I do still think that I wish that they had a better casting in the beginning, but hopefully it's a learning process. And if they come back, then they're going to have figured out some new things and maybe try something else. And I do prefer this over a long winter season. So we'll see if something
Oh yeah, I'm glad we only got 5 weeks. I appreciate that more than 8 weeks over the winter. There was a point where I was just like, I can't do this no more. I know there's a point you said you can't do this anymore. You didn't even recap it. I didn't even bother recapping it.
Well,
But
if
I
I was
actually
doing it myself, and, like, if I was doing it with someone else, it would probably have been, I probably would have ended up doing it.
yeah.
But, like, yeah,
It
it
was
was
just
too
fatigue.
hard.
It was, and I'm glad I did not recap that season. That being said, I'm glad it was short.
Mhm.
I need them to do better. Like, that's fine if you keep it short, but it felt like, it still felt like what we just came off of in the summer season, and just
Yeah, Tom is a
oh my god, let me cuss people out about this. How you let Tom Clary get a win on this series? I'm so pissed about that. I agree, Danita. I can't believe it.
They did it. They did it. Well, we also did it. We did it together for most of it. Thank you so much for stepping in on the times where some of the my co-hosts had to do other things. And so obviously love to have your perspective and hear your voice anytime. Do you have anything going on you'd like to share with the peoples?
Gonna try to catch up on Traders, recapping this week sometime. I gotta check in with my girls, Miss T Joy and Janelle, for that. Hopefully my weeks have been busy with regular work, because that's how I get paid. If you want to help me be able to do this more, you gotta help my social media people,
Yes,
because I'm
please
trying.
subscribe to Entertainment Color on YouTube and all other social media platforms, so she can just do recaps instead of
I can start turning them out for you guys if I could, but otherwise I gotta focus on my day job. That being said, we will be doing Love is Blind, which I'm excited for, because this season actually seems much better than the past couple seasons. So
hopefully we'll get week 1. Why is it 6 episodes, man?
that's the one thing I hate about Netflix, is this drop that they do. I can't say
What is it,
bye,
like, gonna be 6, 3, and 1? Like, how are they doing it?
I can't. I'm not in. But I will say that I watched all 6 episodes in one shot. They were pretty good. I was also working late, but but I paid attention to all of them.
Hopefully we'll be able to maybe do a recap tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're gonna try tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. I should be able to.
So we'll just subscribe to this channel, and then we'll and ring that bell so you will know. Thank you. Follow, subscribe. So you'll know when we do go live with Love Island. Like this video. Let us know what you think about Tom Clare being a Love Island winner. Apparently he has gone from 3rd place to 1st place now. He's gonna be on the podium as numero uno. Thank you, everybody here in the chat, for standing with us through this season. We're diehards like you are. What's going on?
How long are we giving these couples?
Oh shit. Tom and Molly, I think, will last. I give them we're in February, March, April, May. I don't think they'll be together when Love Island summer starts.
Starts.
I
Okay,
don't
I
think
can
the
see
rest
that.
would be in June. So I do
I
not.
can see that. I can see that.
I think that no,
I
I
give
don't think anybody of them are going to make it to June.
Yeah, I was saying that there's only two people I think that two couples that I think could make it to a year, and that is Callum and Jess and Sophie and
Sophie and
Dennis.
well, and you know what though? What could work though is if they do double datey type things
Yeah, which
because
he said that, which is what he said, right? With Toby and Georgia, I think they're gonna the contract. I think Toby and Georgia are gonna try, but I don't see them make it past the
they'll be
summer.
done quick. They're probably done already, you know,
Yeah,
like Bachelor in Paradise style.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, Georgia's gonna stick from stubbornness. No, no way. Like he already got
He
the.
would have to move. Remember, he's living in Scotland. Is that what it is?
I think so.
She would have to move. She's
Also, his mama ain't gonna like her. My mama
no.
don't like
That's what I'm
you.
saying.
She
She would
likes
have to
everyone.
move to him and deal with his mama. It's not. It's not happening. I don't. I don't even give like what the contracted 2 months. I don't even know if I give him that.
I mean, I know she's gonna want to try to stick it out because, like, she doesn't want to look like she never liked him.
Give up the
But
ghost. Yeah.
his mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. Now I never tried to.
Lewis said,
Wrong.
I can see her trying to do her contracted 1 year because that's what she did with Luke. But yeah, no,
Who did it with Luke?
Demi and Luke. Remember,
Oh,
she stayed together. They stayed together for 1 year. She's used to doing a reality relationship and faking it for a while.
wow. I mean, Luke was so cute, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that. I mean, he seems to be happy with the other girl. Is her
Yeah.
name Molly as well? I can't remember.
No,
Lucy,
and
Lucy, Lucy, Lucy.
Lucy.
Cal and Jess potentially because they're both Tauruses, yes, and they tend to stick with their partners, yes.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I give
And
them
that's why he's probably so surprised that they get along so well. And Molly is also Taurus, right? So
yes,
he's
but
probably
it's giving Taurus on a rebound, guys. I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that, but it's giving like she wanted Callum and she didn't get it, and so she's gonna stick to Tom for a couple months and then be done with. I'm sorry.
Kay is saying Sophie's a Scorpio, so if Josh tries any BS, she's not about to play with him. She'll cut that loose before he like. And I think he's a Pisces, right?
He is. I
This
think
will
so.
work, right? Pisces. I mean, it's going to be watery, so they could be emotional, but like they joke about him getting all soppy.
Yeah.
Pisces are soppy, right? They're
But
romantic.
the fact that he's able to open up and say it to her, I think is a good thing. And the fact that she's a Scorpio and will not take his bullshit, I think is another good thing. And so how did that just happen? So yeah, let me just
Longevity wise, like I'll put them on the over or like so like the over and under will be the premiere of Love Island Summer Edition. So I'll put them on the over as well as Jess and Callum on the over for that. And then everybody else I do not think will make it to June.
Yeah. Oh wait, he is a Taurus.
Oh, well, could be even better, but
Or a Gemini. He's either a Taurus or a Gemini.
oh, the 21st of May.
It must be.
I'm gonna find out what time he was born. If he was born in the morning, then he's a Taurus. And if he's born in the evening, I think he must be a Taurus because he connects well with and he's connecting in a because of the food. He brought food. He's a Taurus.
Taurus. He's a Taurus. Alrighty.
Because like that's what he was like. He wanted to bring to her because Taurus love food, and so like I would see that the fact that he put that down for her, and like I would say that from his actions,
yes,
I would say that he is a Taurus. But what could happen is Mercury flies or like it's really close to the sun, and so his Mercury could be either Taurus which is his planet of communication. It could be
Mhm.
the sign of Force, it could be Aries, or it could be in Gemini. So if he has any Gemini-ish things, it could be because his Mercury is in Gemini. So yes. I think he's a Taurus. I'm manifesting that for them because, like, if he's a Gemini, then I'm
His
gonna.
Mercury is in Gemini, and yeah, he's either a Gemini or a Cancer Venus, a Mars Aries, and a Libra moon.
Libra moon. Okay, so he likes relationships. That's good.
Yeah. I do feel like the fact that he is able to let down his walls, he's a little more evolved than we might have thought he was. I'm gonna watch these two. I'm with you that I give them over the summer. We'll see. We'll see.
Kay thinks that Gemini, that Josh is a Gemini. He's on the cusp in the terms that on the day that he was born, it switches signs. So there's some people that might be a Gemini, and there's some people that may be a Taurus still, depending on what time they were born. They're either 29 degrees of one or 0 degrees of the other. So it's just because of the 21st, but it's kind of like yesterday was February 18th. I know some February 18th people that were born late at night, and they are considered a Pisces, even though it's essentially still part of Aquarius. Most people that are born February 18th are still Aquarius, but some of them, if they're born late in the night, they could be a Pisces. So it's just depends on the time that he was born.
Yeah, so a lot of people think he's a Gemini, but it's possible. We'll have to see.
Well, also we just did this exact same thing on Bachelor in Paradise. Remember John Henry? He has the same birthday, and he always thought that he was a Taurus, and he learned that he was a Gemini because he had his time of birth because he was born in the afternoon, I think it was.
Yeah.
So so let's everybody get his birth time. What time was he born and where? And I will do this. I'll put their charts together and I will figure this out. All right. We did it. Okay. Thank you everybody so much for hanging out with us. We love and appreciate you. Do all those subscribey things and we will see you shortly.